Hello, you lovely people. Let's get in there.
Birthday party, and
Birthday party. Hello.
they decided to do pass the parcel, which they wrote me in for, and I sat there, and then basically Hannah is my friend. She wanted to make sure the parcel landed on me at a certain point, which I couldn't quite work out. When I opened it, there was a can of 10 burgers in there, and then at the end of the party, I left them behind, and then about a week or two later, they turned up at my house. So I decided a little bit while later to take him to another gathering, and I left him around Nicky and Nathan's house, and I hid them, above what did I hide them? Above the cooker, and they were there.
They won't go off either, will they?
They won't. They were there for over a month or so before they found them, and then ever since then we've been playing a game until the best before date runs out. So whoever gets it this year, I think, because we had to reset it because one of the pass-offs was in my mate dumped him underneath a seat of my mate's car, because the rules are you've got to pass them off cleanly, and then after a day of passing them off and no one's found them, you take a photo, you post a photograph of them on the Facebook group we've got, and then everyone calls you a cunt, and the rest is history. And then we just basically pass them off, but we don't do it too rapidly. We do it when people least expect it. So I've been egging them on for ages, saying, come on, I was patient zero. I was ground zero for this. No one's tried it on with me yet. And they still haven't. So, yeah, it's a bit tricky at the moment, obviously, with lockdown and everything. But we've had some great pass-offs. So the burgers one time got wrapped up and got passed off as a wedding gift to one of my friends. And she opened them up the following day after the wedding when she was going through You see, this has been going on for a few years. So we had we should have finished last year, I think, but we had to reset it, as I said, because the burgers got passed underneath my mate's car seat, and then my mate sold his car the next day, so without finding them. So we lost them.
So the best before date shifted. I take it when it runs out.
You got to eat them.
When it runs out, you got to eat them, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or on the day it expires, should I say?
Something like that, yeah. I don't know what the expiry date is because I haven't come into direct contact with these burgers. So,
Hello.
I
forgot to ask earlier. Do any of you want to do video?
No. I've got a face for radio, mate.
Fair enough. That makes it easy, doesn't it?
Well, I don't have the obsession. I haven't really done it. I'm just wearing a sloppy t-shirt and I haven't done my hair, so fuck it.
No, I ain't done my hair. My hair looks like I look about 80 today.
Bunch of fucking girls, aren't you?
Not really. Just purveyors of.
Okay, it's fine. Are you ready to go? Because I think this is going to be a long one.
Is it? That's what she said.
It shouldn't take too long, to be honest.
It's only 5.
Yeah.
Peeps is on camera, so.
Yeah. Peeps has only played about. Peeps only played about 2 games.
Peeps can't.
I'm waving, but you can't see because
it's got no lights.
Yeah, it's very dark there, Peeps.
Yeah.
There's Peeps. Oh, he's gone again.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Right.
Why has it gone to this weird 5 square thing anyway?
Don't know, man. Technology.
Are you on your phone?
Yeah.
Is Colin coming in or not?
No, I've just been in party chat with him, and he said it'd probably take too long.
Well, Andy's only played one game all of the last year. So
he said he picked some. He's played Ghost of Tsushima, whatever it's called, Last of Us 2. So
okay, so he's got a top 3 then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it then. Isn't it? I don't think he played anything else, did he?
Warzone came out the year before last, though.
Yeah, everyone says Warzone was this year, but it wasn't this year.
Yes, it is. I've just googled it to make sure, and it's saying March 2020. Because don't forget, it came out after the actual game. It was an add-on bit later on.
Yeah.
I'm sure I played it when it came out because I played it with the disc.
Did
yeah, maybe you're right. So,
yeah, but these rules for this game of the year need to be clarified because in the Discord, people were picking games from any year.
Yeah, well,
but
they're
just
not podcast hosts, are they? It's any game that came out in 2020. All
Yes,
right,
but that
just
should have
tells,
been
it just
should have been
tells you
made
the
clear.
value of our viewers, doesn't it?
it's the same
It's
every
fine.
year. It's the same. We're not one of those retarded outlets.
Peggle
It's like,
too.
we're going to do games that came out at the end of 2019 because we're fucking idiots and we do our game of the year in fucking beginning of December or the end of November.
Fucking hell, this has got off to a
Fucking
good start, isn't it?
retardation.
So
You fucking do the games that come out that fucking year, all right?
Yeah.
fucking hell.
I apologise for calling all our viewers stupid. Sorry. It's true though.
Anyways, have you calmed down?
Yes.
Good.
It just annoys me because I was looking at some of the game of the year list that some outlets did, and they added games that came out like November 2019. I was like, hang on a minute, that's not a 2020 game. You can't be adding that.
It's a bit of
cheating.
fun. It's a bit of fun.
No.
Don't worry about it.
I
They
stick
probably
to the
do it by the
rules.
Game Awards thing where they cut off like partway through November.
Yeah,
or
well,
whatever it is.
it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense because it's the game of the year 2020. Oh yeah, but we're gonna add some of 2019 games in. Oh, fuck off.
Anyway, should we get on with this?
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna go last.
Okay, because we all know. I've seen your YouTube video. I know exactly what you've got planned.
Die, you fucker.
Oh, you actually watched my YouTube video, did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I know exactly what you've got planned. So don't worry about
not
that.
you and your 10 honourable mentions.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I'll be gone by then.
You
We're
probably
all
will
About
be.
to say, yeah, just, yeah.
I'll be left all on my own.
Yeah.
Just reading off my top 5 on my own.
Top 10, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, Joey Clarkey will still be here.
You know. Oh. Okay. You ready?
Clarkey will listen.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna hit record.
Yeah.
What's the order?
Okay. Well, who needs to get up early? Who's on a time limit?
Peeves has probably got the shortest limit.
I'm off.
I'm off
to,
me, I'd say.
I'm off tomorrow, but I don't particularly want to be on here all night.
Well, you know, once a year it's game of the year. We're going to be going on till at least midnight.
Fuck off. Can't do midnight.
Oh God, you're all getting old. I've got to be up at 6
Midnight
for
of
work,
the
and I'm going through.
Go on, I'm fine. Go on. I can go. I'll go before the second before last. It's fine.
Let's Stunty go first, and then me, and then whoever.
I'll go, and then Dan and
Darren, Dan. Yeah.
I'll have some interesting games to talk about, so I'll be the palate cleanser. So don't worry about it.
Okay, you ready then?
With your Nintendo games.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Oh,
we're going to start episode 54, I believe. Yes. Okay. And a 3, and a 2, and a 1. Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast episode 54 for Tuesday, the 12th of January 2021. This is the Game of the Year special. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamertag Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby, 360G, and joining me on this fine evening is...
We're in a lockdown, and Boiler decides to piss its pants today. It's #1 Stuntmaster.
Oh, balls that set. Oh, balls my entrance up.
Come on, Peeves. Also, who are you?
It's Mr. Peeves.
That's all right. It's magic of editing. I can edit this.
No, because I had a little bit of music to play in my intro, and it didn't work.
Okay,
Would you
give
like
it
me to
again.
start again?
Yeah, let me just check it.
Darren sounds like he's dying.
Someone's got COVID.
Who's coughing?
Darren.
Darren.
Right, come on, let's get this going, shall we?
What a car crash!
Okay, are you ready? Peebs, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, and 3, and a 2, and a 1. Hello
YMCA
and welcome.
on the go.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Darren. Okay, and a 3, and a 2, and a 1. Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast episode 54, Game of the Year special. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamertag Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby, 360G, and joining me today is...
My Boiler decided to piss his pants today. It's #1 Stuntmaster. Fuck's sake, Peebs.
Mr. Peeves.
God.
Oh, what's happened?
Oh
Who's
my
after
God.
Peebs?
It's me. Sorry, my fucking mic disconnected. It's also switched.
Fucking amateurs.
And it's Cinnamon Dan.
Yeah, one take, Cinema Dan. Cinema
Right,
Dan.
we're not
In the
doing another
house.
take. I'm just going to mash that together in the edit. It's fine. Cool. All right. So it's Game of the Year special. Peebs, you fucked up your intro 2 times in a row.
Yep.
Ugh. One day you'll be professional. One day.
What was the song you were going to play anyway?
It was just the beginning of the KLF because obviously Webby said he had never heard of them.
Who's that then?
The KLF. All right.
The
I will,
KLF.
he's winding me up.
No, he isn't one of you. He's that, culturally
I've
inept.
never heard. Who are the KLF then?
Oh,
Is it
God.
Justified and Ancient? Is that a video?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
along the lines. Yeah, they're the guys that should be culturing Bill Drummonds. They burnt £1 million on an island in Scotland for shits and giggles.
yes.
Oh my god! What a load of shit.
They're one of the biggest selling acts of the early 90s, and they decided to delete their back catalogue, so all their music's not been available to stream. But they've I don't know what they've done, but this year, I think January the 1st, their singles you was able to stream them. So
Well, someone obviously found some old tape somewhere in the dump.
They probably need some
uh,
money, didn't they? That's why they've allowed them to be streamed.
yeah, I bet they're regretting burning that £1 million now.
Oh, yeah, because they did burn, didn't they? A load of money, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also took to the stage at the Britwalls with submachine guns and left a dead sheep at the after party. So
Yeah.
Weird.
Were they crusties?
no, they were just ex A&R men who
Right, okay.
who basically decided to take on the music industry because they thought it was full of shit and took the piss a lot.
Oh.
Fair enough.
I've got a couple of their bits on vinyl, but I was never a big KLF fan. It was more
Yeah.
Alternate 8 for me.
Alternate.
Yeah.
Tune. Anyway, Webby's all confused now with his
Yeah,
knowledge
I'm not as old as you, old bastards. So I mean, I'm getting
It's
there.
the
but
90s.
Yeah.
yeah, I was very young in the 90s. Very young indeed. I was all into my trance and that, you know.
Yeah, shitty trance.
Anyway, let's get on to gaming. Anyway, Game of the Year 2020. We're now in 2021. We've given it a little bit of time. We're not like these other outlets that decide to do their Game of the Year shows in fucking November. Who cares? So we're doing it officially. Only games that came out in 2020. No games from any other years are allowed. And we're doing top 5. One of us, who is hardcore, actually has a top 10. So there you go.
More like indecisive.
And it's all good. It's all good in the hood. So we're gonna kick it off, aren't we? Okay, so we've got some birthdays to celebrate. Strokey McGinger his birthday is on the 11th of January, so a day before this podcast actually comes out. So happy birthday to Strokey.
Happy
And
birthday.
Happy birthday.
And Mr. Peebs is super old on Friday.
Sorry.
The big 5-0.
No, halfway to
Yeah,
90.
I'm not that old.
He's nearly there.
45 on Friday.
45 on
Oh, that's it, your
Friday.
balls drop now.
Oh,
It's
man.
only how old you feel inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
St.
yeah.
Adams has chimed in. He's 31 today.
Happy birthday, St.
Birthday.
Adams.
He's so young.
Woo! And Hogarth wants a Patreon refund for that awful intro.
Yeah, have a word with Peebs. It's his fault.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. It's nice to see so many people on the Twitch today. 10 people. Yeah.
Wow.
It must be a new record.
Be
Well,
two
it's
by the
showing
time you-
13 for me a minute ago.
Oh. So we've obviously that awful intro obviously put some people off. And they left.
We might get a hype train shortly. You never know. Choo choo.
Oh, whoop whoop. Anyway, Game of the Year, top 5 from all of you. And I'm really looking forward to hearing about this top 5. We're probably, a lot of us are probably going to have the same game, so it probably won't be a super long show that I envisioned, to be honest. But we do have, after we've done all our top 5s, all the community that have sent me messages, I've got to read theirs out as well. So that might
Sure
take
thing,
a little
Al.
bit of time. Yeah, but I can read through them quite quick. You know how quick I can read.
Mhm.
On in
Number
2020.
5. Right, who's first? Stunty.
Right, okay.
Have you actually played
quite
5
hard
games
for
that
me.
came out in 2020?
Yeah, I've actually played more than 5 actually this year, so it's a bit annoying
Wow.
because there's a couple I've had to remove actually.
So you
For-
played 7 games from 2020 then. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, yeah, actually, yeah. If you work it out, it is actually, yeah, it is 7. Yeah, it is 7
Oh, wow.
games. Actually. That's a good guess, wasn't it? Are you looking at my? You're watching my phone, aren't you?
Yep.
Because you're
Oh,
spying on me.
I can see
That
your
Big
microchip.
Brother is watching.
I can see your
Yeah.
photos. Delete those, mate, if I were
Ooh,
you.
yeah.
Ooh.
Especially that one with the big tits. That's all right. Right, okay. Number 5
Yes.
is. Oh wait, hold on a minute, it's wrong year. Hold on a minute.
Oh,
sorry.
for
Number
I can
5
see you put a lot of
is.
effort into this.
Number 5 is Animal Crossing.
Yay!
Hey.
Oh, okay.
I was
Next.
yeah, I wasn't going to put this on. There was something else that was going to. I'm not going to say what it was, but I really enjoyed Animal Crossing for what it was. I probably could go back to it, but it's one of those games where it doesn't matter when you play it. You can pick it up a year's time, 2 years time, and you'll still be there in the same world, but you'll have more weeds, and you might have a few people leave. But it's one of those games that will just keep going on and on and on, and it's fun. Um, I don't think there's much more I can say about it really, because Dan's told everyone every week for the last 15 weeks what it's about. So
I can ask some questions. So you've got an island with your daughter, is that right?
yes, that's correct. Yeah.
So does she still play it? Are you the?
Yeah, she does. She has a moment. She was playing it a little while back. She has a little moments for the Switch. 1 month she'll play it, and then she won't play it for 2 months, and then she'll go
Yeah.
back onto it again. But she always goes in. It's good though, because she's my helper, so she does all the work, and I just live in the house. So it's like paying council tax, really. But the difference is when you pay council tax, they actually, I'll go council tax people don't do anything. Uh, but yeah, it's great. She does all the roads. She makes it look all nice. She puts all the fencing up all around my house and the rest of it.
So you haven't really technically played this game, have you?
No, I just get my daughter to do it for me.
Brilliant.
So,
Okay.
but no, from what I did, I did play quite a bit of it, and I did enjoy myself on it. But it was fun. It's a shame you couldn't both play at the same time. You
Mhm.
could if you had another Switch and you had another new world. But that's the only thing that probably lets it down. But it's not that bad. I mean, the thing is, you had another Switch means you got to buy another console, and then you got to have another game. So
Yeah,
it's
I
great.
think that's one of the letdowns with the game, isn't it? Is that you can only have one island per Switch. It seems a bit of a odd thing, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's Nintendo for you, and they've
Yeah,
always been
yeah,
stuck in the sort of 90s or whatever. Still,
yeah.
So right, okay, I'll move on because I'm gonna get through these because I don't want to be on till 12. Number 4 is Mafia Remaster.
Oh,
Yeah, I really enjoyed this game. I never played Mafia the original on the PS2 or the Xbox. And this came out. What was it? August, I think it came out. And I can't speak. I went straight through this game really fast, as in because it was just so entertaining, and it reminded me of an era that we had where you had no bullshit. It was just do the missions, no side quests, nothing. It was just do the missions, and you even had the options where you could just skip the driving,
yeah,
so you could just get straight to the mission, do the mission. The story was brilliant. It was a really great story. Graphically wise, it looked good. Didn't have any problems with it at all, to be honest. And it was just nice to play a game that was just, you know, there's no filler,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you don't get that
It
anymore. Every
is
game,
there, but you have
yeah,
to search for it, and you
y-
can
yeah,
dip into free mode to pick up a lot of that stuff anyway. So
yeah, but it was just nice. It was just quick. It run great, and it was just, the trouble is you do get a lot of filler on games these days. I mean, you get a game that's supposed to be that could be 7 hours long, and then they put it to 15 because they can't put it at 7 because everyone will bitch and moan, oh, it's too short. I'm not
yeah,
paying for
pretty
kids
much.
over there, because you know
Yeah,
what it's like okay,
Yeah.
you know, and then when you make it 15 hours long, they go, oh, it's too long, it's too much filler, so you can't, can you?
Yeah, I know what you mean. This is one of my pleasant surprises from the year as well, Stunty, to be honest.
Mm,
Uh,
so
it's not long, which is great. And sometimes you just want a decent game that you can just kind of plow through and just enjoy a good story. And for me, that really filled that itch for me. You know, scratch that itch. It was a great game. Graphics, as you say, absolutely stunning. They really did a good job with doing a full remaster on this game, in my opinion.
yeah, and for me also, I'm a fan of Mafia anyway. As in, I played Mafia 2 on the 360, loved that,
Yeah,
and then I played Mafia 3 on the PS4. Um, and I loved that as well. Actually, no, I didn't play on PS4. I think it was the Xbox. I can't remember now. No, it was PS4, and loved it. Even though that was, you know, quite repetitive at times and a lot of filler, um, as you say. But it was still, it's that whole mafia world that they create. I really look forward to what they're doing next because at some point we should get an announcement for what the next mafia game is going to be.
yeah,
Because there's been rumours circulating for a while. And also having this trilogy that came out in August was great to have them all on one package. So if any of you missed it, it's well worth picking up.
yeah.
You know, you'll get to get some really good content for 3 games. So you know, so get on it, peeps, because I know you like the Mafia series.
Yeah, it's on my list to pick up at some point.
It'll
Yeah.
probably
probably
end up
hit
on
Game
Game
Pass.
Pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how would that? Great minds
Mm.
think alike.
Right. My number 3 game is Cyberpunk.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah. Um, would have been higher if it wasn't for all the dodgy glitches and bugs and stuff like that, and crashing the console. Which it did it twice, so it wasn't that bad. Um,
On the
it's a good game.
PS5, is this?
Yeah, this was on the PS5. Yeah, it's a good game. I really enjoyed it. The story was brilliant. I mean, you've had your spoilerific on it. I haven't listened to that. I must say because I can't because I have to pay for it. No, it's a really good game. It was I did enjoy the story of the game, but it did let it down with some of the little problems it did have on the game. But it's still worthy of my number 3. It probably could have been higher. It'd be nice to see what they do with it, and also be nice to see what some of the DLC is of the game. Um, there is probably still quite a bit of the game still I could play to finish. I felt a bit. I think I got a bit burnt out on it, to be honest. I think I did 28 hours or 27 hours on it, and I think by the end, when I'd actually finished the story and it went back to a certain point where you could continue all your side quests, I felt a bit like I'm sort of done now. You know, because it is realistically a third-person shooter. Sorry, a first-person shooter. And there's only so many hours I can do of a first-person shooter before I start to get a little bit. I want something different. So, anyone else want to say something?
I've kind of stopped playing this because I think I'm going to save it until I upgrade or
Mm,
there's more work done on it. Maybe I might go back to it. I mean, I've been preoccupied with other stuff, to be honest with you, but
mm,
what I've played with it so far is good. But you kind of feel like you kind of getting a preview of what the final game is before you actually sit down. I'm one of these people who probably won't play it again
mm,
when I do finish it. So I'm in two minds of how I'm going to continue with it yet. So we'll have to wait and see.
mm. I think you're the only one who hasn't played it. Have you, Peeps?
No, I haven't picked it up because I'm going to wait till I get my new Xbox or PlayStation and purchase it on that.
What about how you got
Best
on with
way, I
it,
think.
Darren? Or, well, you might tell us later. I don't know. So
Possibly.
yeah. Um, my
Hold
number
his cards
2.
close to his chest.
Yeah, all is quiet in
Poker
Darren's
face, Darren.
my number 2 game was my number 1 game, but something has taken it over, and that is The Last of Us 2.
Mhm.
I know all you lot didn't like it, as far as I know, but I thought it was a brilliant game. I enjoyed it more than the first one. I must admit, I didn't really think much of the first one, to be honest. And it wasn't on my radar at all. It was only because of Webby kept slagging it off. It was actually great that you put it on my radar to actually purchase, because I wasn't
Well,
going to
I'm
buy it.
glad I did something good for you, Stunty.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad
So
you enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it. I mean, it's a great story. Is it too long? Probably a little bit too long. It's a dark. I mean, that's the one thing about the game. It is a very dark and gritty and horrible sort of world, and it's probably not the best game to play while we're in a lockdown either at the moment. But for me, I needed something that could engage me, because you go through these little patches where you don't know what to play. And this is one of those games that came out of nowhere for me, that was brilliant, because it sucked me in. I played it for 2 weeks solid and just got it finished. And yeah,
Cool.
really enjoyed it. And I love the combat on it. There's bits where you're underground that remind me of Resident Evil as well. Some of the boss battle you get down there. Yeah, it's a great game. I'd like to go back to it at some point and finish off some of the other bits on it to try and go for the platinum. But you know what I'm like. I get
It's
bored.
supposed to be an easy platinum. You just play through it twice, isn't it? I've heard.
Yeah. I did have a look on some of the bits. There was a lot of stuff you've got to sit there with a. I can't do the peeps thing where he sits there with a tablet and plays the game, because I just can't do that, because maybe my brain
Oh,
can't
to
do
get all
too.
the collectibles and all that.
Well,
Yeah.
it's better
Yeah,
off doing that the second playthrough, because that way you know what's coming up and you're not spoiling any sort of like story stuff or like events and things like that.
Yeah, but when you
guess.
do it like that, it still feels like a bit of a chore.
yeah. It does, for me, it feels like a job.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm doing a job for someone to say, "Here you go, I've got the platinum for you." But what does it mean, the platinum? Nothing really. You know, it's nice to get them if I can get them, but the problem is to do a second playthrough. You've got at least another 15 probably hours on it.
Mm.
Well, I haven't really
It's a
got
lot of
15.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it took me 20. I think it was 26 hours. So you know, here we go. Right, my number one game
Dun,
is
dun, dun.
is my Christmas present. Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
Ooh, it's your game of the year.
yeah. I got this on Christmas, and I was umming and ahhing whether to play it, because I had a lot of bad things about this game just before I got it for Christmas. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's too long," and the rest of it. I tell you what, it didn't start great. I will say that with the game. I didn't think much of the start of the game. I thought it was a bit, oh, fucking hell, what have
it
I done
is
now?
a bit slow, I will
Yeah,
say, the very start part, but the intro actual sort of cinematic and all that kind of stuff was pretty cool and interesting. Sets it all up. But yeah, the opening sort of like area isn't very interesting because it's
Yeah.
mainly just a frozen tundra.
yeah. But once I got to England and started destroying all the Saxons, oh man, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was just.
It's a great
And
game.
it is a really good game. Graphically wise, it's really beautiful looking. I mean, I'm playing on the PS5 because I've got the upgrade, because you've got the free upgrade on it. It looks lovely. I've not had any crashes. I had one dialogue issue with the game where it got stuck on a dialogue and I couldn't get it to move on. So I just come out the game and then just go back in. It was fine. I love the characters. The one thing, the other thing is, well, the one thing I will say about the game is I love Ivor, which is the main character.
Yes. He's brilliant,
And
isn't he? So
yeah,
well done.
and the one thing about the Assassin's Creed games is I haven't really had a character that I've really engaged with for quite a while. I've played all the other Assassin's Creeds,
Hmm.
and I haven't. Well, I finished 3. That was the last one I finished, and even then I didn't really think much of the character. Before that was what's his name? Was it Enzo?
Ezio.
Yeah,
Ezio.
he was my only the only character I really liked.
Yeah.
But since then, all the characters since then, they haven't really felt, a connection. But Ivor, oh man, yeah, he's brilliant. The way he looks, and the way the character, the person that actually does the voice acting,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's brilliant. And also, it's England. It's sort of, I've tramped all over Peebs' house, in Peterborough.
Peebs' mud hut.
Yeah, pissed on the grass, done a shit outside his
I'll
house.
have, I'm in a castle, I'll have you know.
Yeah. Well, I'll raid that and nick all your gold.
How many hours have you done, Stunty?
Well, that's the thing. See, I've made this my game of the year, but I haven't actually finished the game.
Yeah.
That's the one thing, yet because it's still so good.
Yeah.
I'm only 20 hours in. 20 hours in, I'm level 71. So
These rookie numbers, man.
yeah, definitely. But it's I've completed 3 sections so far,
Yeah.
but I'm still loving it. It's
Yeah.
if I wasn't on here tonight, I'd probably be playing it. It's annoying because work's taking a bit, so I'm not getting the chance to play as much as I want. But I'm still loving it. I love the combat as well, the parry as well when they try and strike you, and you can use your shields. Um, everything about it I just love, and it's nice to play. Even though it's called Assassin's Creed, it doesn't really feel like Assassin's Creed
No,
to me.
no, there's a lot
There is,
of just one on. There's just a lot of fighting, isn't there? It's just,
yeah,
you know,
it's great. I mean, I love the bits where you can call in reinforcements in. That's brilliant. That is, I love
mm,
that. Yes, there is the Assassin's Creed bit where you do the stealth, but it's not in your face. The stealth, you don't have to. You can just go running in and just attack. You know, and then you've got you can get up behind people and just stab them, as I say. That's your Assassin's Creed. I like to know where the story goes because there's so much more to this game.
mm.
Probably looking at about 100 hours probably to finish it, or could be more.
Oh, well, it
But yeah,
depends how much you do. 'Cause I know, well, Hogarth's just put in the chat. He's done 102 hours.
mm,
I
Right.
completed it in about 60 something hours, so about 64 hours or so. The main story. I couldn't be asked. I got to a point where I just couldn't be bothered to go and do all the collectibles anymore because I just wanted to push the story to its conclusion because I got really sucked into it.
mm,
So I think if because you don't need to go and find every single bit of gold, do every single little side mission in the game to enjoy it. So, I mean, I
yeah,
did
I
a
like that
lot. I
building
say, and
up
that's
the houses. Your
yeah,
settlement. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, I did all the raids in the
Mm,
game because that's how you get most of the loot to upgrade your settlement.
mm,
Um, yeah, it's a great game, Stunty, and it definitely deserves to be in a #1 spot because it is
yeah,
that good. It certainly doesn't deserve the moniker of Ubi shite, as Colin would say.
yeah,
It is quality,
yeah.
absolute
I
quality.
think he'll enjoy this because he likes his English barbaric.
Yeah, I think
You know.
he said he tempted to pick it up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he'll enjoy this because for me it's like it was a poor man's version of it before was Kingdom
come
Come
King, yeah,
Deliverance. That even though that was first person, that was the same sort of world, sort of era. I don't know if I can't remember what era that was now. But it just because it was England, and it was
No,
all of
it's. I
England.
think
no, it's set in a
Kingdoms of
European
Amalur.
country. Sorry, Darren, what'd you say? Is Darren cut out again? Kingdom Come Deliverance is set in a European country. I can't quite
Yeah, but
remember
it's all
which
English
one.
actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it came across as English because of the way, and the setting looked English as well.
Yeah. It's not England. I can't remember which European country it is. Oh, it's gonna really bug me now. But yeah, it's set in Europe.
But that had a similar thing where you could call people in to help you and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was it had a good idea, but it just didn't really. That got too realistic, though. I think that was the problem with that.
That was the whole point of it. It was meant to be a realistic
Mm.
game.
So, but no, it's really good. Really enjoying it. Yeah, I'll probably be playing this for the next 3-4 months, to be honest, because it's that good.
There's
That's
Uh,
it.
still, I think, a load of free updates to come for it, isn't there, and stuff. I think.
Mm.
Kingdom Come Deliverance is set in the Kingdom of Bohemia, which is now the Czech Republic.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
There you
It
go.
didn't.
kind of
It didn't.
right, but I did get cut off with the mic one
Yeah, I
again.
know. In the early 15th century.
Oh, right. Okay.
But yeah, it was a great top five stunt here. I really liked your top five.
Mm.
Really deserve, especially Assassin's Creed.
Mm. Cool.
You know mine yet?
Oh God.
I bet you know what one on there is.
Call of Duty 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Who's next?
It is me.
Heaps.
Go Peeps.
Well, obviously, I thought I hadn't played that much, as in new games. But surprisingly, when I sort of counted, I had actually bought quite a few games. I remember saying like Watch Dogs I think was the physical copy, first one I bought all year. But I had actually bought quite a few digital, brand new games digitally. So, number 5 is going to be Maneater.
Oh, well, I knew it'd be there somewhere.
Oh, here he
Oh,
comes.
God.
Obviously,
Still not sure about that Chivo then.
yeah. Well, yeah. I'm still angry about that achievement. Not looking. Otherwise, I'd have a 4,000 on that. So that is annoying. But yeah, like I say, I haven't really played that many new games, so the list is going to have maybe a few weird and
Duds.
wonderful games on there. Because obviously,
Makes it
Cyberpunk, I want to
interesting.
play, would probably be in there. But I want to wait till later on in the year when I can play it on the next gen. Assassin's Creed probably would be in there. I know I'm going to really like that because I like all the Assassin's Creed games, but just haven't got round to purchasing that one yet. So that's probably 2 games that would have been in there, but I just haven't played them. But yeah, Manny, it's good fun. Yeah, it's not going to be in anyone else's top 5, I wouldn't imagine. But I'll have to have a look through the Discord thing actually, see if anyone's actually put it on their list. I doubt it very much. But
Isn't this a free game on PS Plus?
Yeah, I
for
started
something?
it last
it is
week.
now,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's on PS5. It's only PS5 though. It's not on PS4. Though.
Bizarre.
That's no.
It looks nice. I must admit, it does look a bit of a. It's not a AAA title. It feels like.
Yeah, I think when it came out, I think I only paid 25. I think it was like a 30 quid game, but I used some of my Microsoft Bing points towards it. But
Doing your dailies on Bing.
yeah, I was gutted the other day because I missed my daily and reset. I had like 88. I had an 88-day streak.
Bloody hell.
Oh,
And
a
I was
day
watching
without porn.
Yeah, I was watching football on my laptop, and because I was watching live football, and it drained it, and then I put my laptop on charge, and then forgot all about it, and then didn't do my dailies till the next day, and then shit, wounded.
It that Man-Eater reminds me of Jaws Unleashed. Do you remember that on the PS2?
Yes, that's what I mean. I do like. I mean, shark games. You don't really get that many, but I've always been since I was a kid fascinated with sharks. Loved like Shark Week on Discovery. I think one of my projects when I was in the 6th form at school was about sharks and stuff. So I did
Many years
know.
ago.
Yeah, I did know quite a bit about them and their immune system and stuff.
And one of the greatest films ever is Jaws.
Yeah,
I have to agree.
Yeah, it was a good film.
I just watch every shark film that's been like when you go onto Netflix or Sky. There's loads of, and they're all like B, like C films. They're not
like
like
Sharknado.
Yeah, and them sort of films. And there's one in a cage where 2 women go down in a cage. Can't remember what it's called now. They're just really good. And there's something scary about them because it could actually, that they live on this earth. They're not like a stupid horror film like Freddy Krueger, where it's not really going to happen. These things exist, and it could actually happen, which I think makes it a little bit scarier. But the game, the graphics are like a cartoony type graphic, but basically you just start off as a baby shark, and then as you progress, and then you become bigger and bigger. It's got like a leveling system, and you can add things to your shark, make it more powerful and stuff. And then you get these bounty hunters that you've got to go and kill. They're like little end bosses. It's quite an in-depth game. Sorry.
Can you eventually attach lasers to their heads?
not lasers as such, but there are some, weird and wonderful things you can attach to make it go faster and stuff. It's quite a big map. This is quite an in-depth game for the price, and if not on PS5, it's like free at the minute, or with your subscription, it's worth a go.
If you don't have, here's a little tip as well. If you don't have a PS5, but you will be getting one, and you have PS Plus at the moment, go onto the store on the internet, and you can just add it to your library.
Oh, good tip. I'm doing that now.
So
Top tip from Stunty.
Right, there you go. So at least then you've got some stuff for when you do get a PS5. I mean, there is a collection anyway, but as I say, you won't get this after January.
Well, I have actually on my PS4 the new Spider-Man game, but I've not played it yet. So I don't know whether that could have been in the top 5 as well. It's my daughter's friend works at Sony PlayStation in London, so she got me a free code.
Oh, that's
So
Nice.
I had it just before Christmas, downloaded it, but I haven't, because I don't switch to the PlayStation on that much. But it's sat there waiting for me to play. So
Good.
Can you not get him to get you
nice.
a PS5 now?
I
Go
wish.
back and say, "Oh, give us a PS5. Come on,
Yeah.
Spider-Man, this is shit."
So we'll quickly move on to 4. We won't talk too much because I know you boys aren't bothered, but it's FIFA. Only because obviously I play FIFA every
lay
year.
out what you liked and didn't, because obviously there are FIFA people who listen.
Is that
to the
FIFA 21?
podcast.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the very latest one. Yes.
Okay. Well,
Obviously, I buy them every year, even when I say I'm not, but I still do. But I've actually probably put more effort into this one than previous. It's like the Ultimate Team, which I think a load of kids must have got this for Christmas, because before Christmas on Ultimate Team, I could not buy a win. I think I lost about 20 games on the trot, which is when you play online against other people in their Ultimate Teams. But over Christmas, I got like a 10 winning streak. So I reckon all the noobs have got it for Christmas and been playing on it, because I've been playing really well and getting a lot of wins.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's the same every year. A few slightly better graphics, if you like. I don't know, but what it's going to be like on the new gens. But yeah, it's FIFA, and obviously, if people who aren't into football ain't going to like it. But if you're a football fan, it's the best. It's still better. I haven't played a Pro. So I think Pro Evo is actually on Game Pass at the minute. I keep thinking, I might try it, because years ago when the first FIFAs came out, they were like the best ones, and then Pro Evo came along, and it did actually take over, and most people preferred Pro Evo.
Yeah.
I played Pro Evo a bit.
The
I
trouble with
remember
Pro
those
Evo is they didn't have the
days.
licenses.
Yeah.
That was the only downside. But then FIFA sort
Man
of
red, man blue.
yeah, and then FIFA pulled it back, and now most people prefer FIFA again now. But it's just brilliant with all the it's got all the proper players, the licenses and stuff. Although I did read a while, but I can't remember who it was. I think some player has actually tried to sue FIFA for not having permission to use his
Wasn't it like Ronaldinho?
Yeah, someone. Yeah,
Ronald McDonald.
they hadn't asked permission to use his likenesses or something. So, but I don't know where that went. I haven't read upon about it much. But if that was to go, that would open up a right can of worms, because that's every footballer, on FIFA could end up trying to sue them. And they must sort of in their contracts have, FIFA have the licenses to
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
their
They
Your
likeness.
must
They
have.
must
likeness
have.
or whatever.
But yeah, it's in depth. It's got your Ultimate Team. You can do manager mode.
Your Ultimate Team, which people spend thousands of pounds on every year because they're nut
Well,
jobs.
they do. Yeah, I used to work with a guy, and he was into it massively, because you can download the app as well, and you can buy and
Oh
sell
my
even
god.
on the proper official FIFA app.
It's proper gambling, isn't it?
It's
But I don't.
surprise
To be fair,
mechanics, Webby.
I only use my in-game currency that I just grind out, which is why I've not got great. I've got some good players, but they're not like Team of the Week players or Champions League players and all the rare cards, because they go for like 220,000 in-game currency, whereas I've normally got about 20 grand in my account, which doesn't get you much. But I've got steady players. I like using my posh kit and stuff, because Peterborough United are on there.
Yeah.
So yeah. Number 3 is The Last of Us 2, which
Okay.
is probably quite surprising. But I really liked it, a bit like Stunty. I wasn't all that bothered about it. The first one I played didn't really blow me away, but it was just a good adventure game. All the mechanics, are done well. The second one, I didn't really pay too much attention to the sort of controversy, if that's what you want to call it. But that didn't really bother me too much. But the game itself, it's just done really well. The graphics are good, stories done well. Whether you sort of agree with what happened in the game, and some people moaned that people were killed off too early, this, that, and the other. But I thought it's done really well. And yeah, my only gripe was probably it was a little bit too long, but you can't win these days. People moan if it's short or too long,
Yeah.
So You know, and it was I bought this day of release on my PlayStation digitally. 50, I think it was 50, or it might have been actually 60. You know,
It's probably 60. Yeah.
yeah.
PlayStation's all whack.
That's what they've got to sort out these next few years. Is the digital games? They've got to get them in line with the.
If you'd have bought it physically, you could have now sent it off to CEX, where like hundreds
Exactly,
of copies line the shelves.
Yeah.
Well, this is the problem because you guys don't PC game. Games
Yeah,
like
we
I picked up Cyberpunk for £35, brand new, launch day, ding dong.
Yeah. It's strange why PC games seem to be a little cheaper than console games.
They don't have to pay a license fee to put the game on the platform.
That's
why.
it. Yeah.
Oh, I see. But yeah, I was trying to go for the full platinum. I think I missed a couple of collectibles, and I did mean to go back to it. I probably will still go back to it at some point when it's. Sometimes if you leave it for a year or two and you go back to it, it feels like you know playing a new game again.
Yeah.
You've forgotten about it. I know my brother, because we game share on the PlayStation, and I bought it, and he because normally he buys all the games on that, and I just nick him off him. But he actually got this one off me. But he's platinumed it.
Wow.
Yeah, he likes his platinum. He's a bit of a platinum whore, like I'm a Chivo whore. But yeah, so I do mean to go back to it. But yeah, I just think it, even like picking up the collectibles and and tells a little bit about the story and stuff. I like the way that sometimes it's not too much combat in the game, because some games will just keep throwing enemies at you, time after time. But this gives you a little bit to roam around and explore when you're not having to worry about enemies and stuff.
It was the one thing I liked about the exploring is that you went to stuff like you had a record shop, or you had a comic shop, and just other kinds of shops, and they're all just deserted, and but there's little bits and bobs in there that are still in there you can look at and stuff. It was quite, the exploration was quite cool in the game, I must admit.
Yeah.
And it was open world as well. It wasn't just linear. There was a big open world section to it as well.
Yeah, that open world section with the horse, and that's done really well. And you can go off and explore, like say, the derelict buildings and things, and yeah, good game. Number 2, I think, is going to surprise you all. Zombie Army 4.
What?
Ooh,
What?
Did that come out this year?
yeah, it did actually.
Yeah, it was I think it was February, February time. Can't remember. It was early in the year. That's why I'm saying everyone's forgotten about it.
Forgotten about it. Never played it.
What game
No,
was
I've
it?
not played it either. I like
You played me and you played it together, Darren.
What was that?
Zombie Army 4.
That came out last year. Well, 2019 it came out.
No.
Peeps hasn't
Are
been.
you sure about that?
I checked today because I was thinking of having it, and then I looked, and on the disc it says 2019.
Let me just check this, because I thought
It came out. It says here
February 2020.
4th of February 2020 for Zombie Army 4 Dead War. Yeah.
On the disc though, 2019 Microsoft International Copyright.
Oh, don't look at the discs, mate.
And 2019 Rebellion Zombie Army. All right, then I've just changed one of my entries. Fair enough.
Yeah, this is. I don't think I played the. What was the other one they had on? They had it on Game Pass for a while. Was it Zombie? It must have been Zombie Army.
Zombie Army Trilogy.
That's it.
Yeah.
I didn't really know nothing about them then, and I downloaded that on Game Pass, and I really, really liked it. And then when this was announced, that was one of my most anticipated games. And I actually was in game just before lockdown, and they've got because they did like a collector's edition with the zombie shark.
Yeah, I was going to say there's sharks in as well.
Yeah, the zombie shark. It was about. I think it was going in game. It was selling it second hand for like £80.
Wow.
Yeah, it's probably about right. It was quite big, the statue, if I remember.
It's quite big. Yeah.
Was it a shark and zombie?
My days of collecting them sort of things are gone.
It was like, on certain levels, Stunty, you'd have like an undead zombie shark that would be like tethered, and you could like activate it with like an electric current every like 2 or 3 minutes, and it would basically be like an AOE. it'd be like an AOE, and then basically any zombies that go near it while you've activated it, it just starts ripping them to shreds.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, yes. Me and Darren, we played it, didn't we? With I
Yeah.
think, was it Goose, one of your friends?
Yeah, you're also wounded because you got literally DC'd from the game for being AFK on the final
Yes.
wave of survival mode. Missed
Yes.
out on the Chivo.
Was he having his dinner again?
Yeah, I had to go for dinner.
Still doing it all these years later. Fucking hell. You might have learned from that one.
I says, Daz, just stay, you know, just keep an eye on me. I'll just hide in the corner. I'll only be 10 minutes and I'll come back. And literally, as I came back, they said, "Oh, we've just got the achievement. It's just popped," and it booted me from the game. So I didn't get it. So I had to grind that bit later on. But yeah, I was trying to get the 4,000 on that. I think I keep needing to go back to it because they have released some DLC.
Yeah, they've added some extra levels and maps and stuff, I think. haven't
Yeah,
they?
so I do keep meaning to go back to it. But yeah, when that came out in February time, that was all I was playing. It's
Again,
got the,
it was kind of like a 35 to 40 quid title. It wasn't like a full price game.
no,
And
I can't
for
remember
what they squeezed into it as well,
well, yeah, because
like with the whole
the campaign's quite
with the
quite
upgrade
long.
system, yeah, you had like what 7 or 8 levels with like 3 or 4 levels per level,
Yeah,
or something. There's like a lot to it.
yeah, and then it's obviously as it's 4-player co-op, isn't it? You can have up to 4 players online co-op,
Mhm.
which is good. I think I did most of it on my own. To be fair, I think it's an achievement for completing it 4 players, but that's just quite hard to do.
Mm.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah, I
think there
really
was
really
going
enjoyed it.
through every map. Yeah.
You can buy
Good
that
good
shop.
choice, Pete.
Thank you.
You can buy that collector's edition on the Xbox or the PlayStation 4, 215 quid.
Bloody hell!
Ooh, how much?
That's a lot of
215
money.
quid.
Wow.
Dan's on it.
That
That's
zombie
brand new.
shark, I think, is going to be a collector's piece.
Oh, there's one here for 85 quid. There you go, but it's second, second hand.
What was the game that had like the woman's like ripped up big torso
Oh, Dead
or
Island,
whatever
wasn't
that
it?
come with the collection? Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing one of them at a car boot. Someone was selling, but yeah, it was a pretty gory looking thing.
Yeah. I remember there was a lot of complaints about that in the media.
Don't think I could have that on the mantelpiece.
There probably wouldn't have been if it was a male torso.
No. There
It's
we
just
go.
because it was a female wearing a bikini. Can't have that.
Woohoo.
Yeah, so and they obviously, I think it's Rebellion. I think they're a British video game developer, so it's always good to support British game developers. Obviously, when they all before they end up getting bought by the big American ones and then disbanded.
Yeah, EA.
But
EA.
yeah, they did Strange Brigade as well, which I quite like. Which, to be fair,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
good, that one.
quite like that.
but in a way they are similar games, just like reskinned type thing, because that's a 4-player co-op type, same sort of thing.
That got
that
good
was
reviews, that Strange Brigade, as well, by some outlets.
Yeah, I really like that. I think I
Yeah,
nearly
it was very tongue in cheek, wasn't it? Like with
Yeah, I think it was.
intrepid adventurers, off you go, jolly ho, and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. And
Yeah, and I think that was on Game Pass up until a little while back. I don't think it might have been taken down now. And obviously they do the Sniper Elites as well.
Yeah,
Um,
been on PlayStation as well, and I think on Xbox as well for Game Pass, haven't they?
And I think you're all going to know what my number one is. And I didn't really want to put it as number one, but I just thought it has to be really, because I've just put so much time into it. And, it's my main go-to game, and I've had so much fun on it. So it'd be a bit disrespectful to the game, really, if I just didn't put it there, just to be a snob and say, well, no, I'm not going to put it in there. But you obviously know which it is. It's Warzone.
Really? I thought it would be Watch Dogs.
Yeah, what happened to Watch Dogs, eh, Peeps?
It should have been Watch Dogs, or Watch Dogs should have been in the top 5 if it bloody worked.
Well, I knew Warzone would be your number one anyway, because you play
I
it
thought
so
you
much.
I did sort of contemplate, not putting it in there, because it's sort of a free-to-play battle royale. But I just thought, like I said, I've just it's my most played. I don't actually think, like we were saying earlier, I actually did think it came out the year before, but I did my research and made sure, and it was, it was beginning of last year. So, but just play it so much. the battle passes are good. It's in depth and just really, and at one point everyone was on it. Even Webby and Stunty and that were playing it. But obviously, you boys got a bit burnt out because you're not hardcore.
Well, it does get repetitive. There's only I must have done over 100 hours on that game, and there is a limit.
Yeah.
It's like, where are we going? Collie Wally Towers. What are we doing? We're going this way. I've been shot. I'm in a gulag. I've come back again. I've been shot. I'm dead. Colin, can you buy me back again, please, Colin? It's normally me and Peebs are both in the flipping waiting to be reloaded, and Colin and the other guy, I can't remember what his name was.
Was it Mr. Blonde?
Yeah, Mr. Blonde. They're like, yeah, we'll get you out in a bit. They and then you get to the end, it's like, and we get on the chopper, and it's like, I hadn't done fuck all in that game. All I've done in that game is just get brought back on the crates every time.
Carried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love it. It was good fun, but I did feel.
Yeah, it's good fun, and obviously, you can get burnt out. I mean, that's why they obviously released the Rebirth Island, which is good fun. Although I was a little bit disappointed, it's a bit smaller, but in one way, it's good because the games are shorter. Because sometimes, as you know, the main Warzone game you can probably on there for 40, 45 minutes because if you win, it can take so long.
Yeah.
But then with the Rebirth Island, it was a smaller island, a bit more action, so the games don't take as long. So if I've only got half an hour, you can probably get a couple of games in.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of that, we was winning quite a lot of games on there. So, but yeah, it's done well. Although there's the Rebirth Island, they had an event, like a 20-day event where like they did an event over Halloween where you had to collect all these out of the chest, collect different things, and you can get a blueprint for a Halloween gun, which I managed to do. When they did an event for the launch of the Rebirth Island, and it glitched because one of the challenges was to get 30 kills with a common gun, but in the game there was no common guns, so they balls it up. So I didn't manage to get the blueprint for that gun because it was a glitch, and now the event's finished. But yeah, I'm still playing it. Still really enjoying it. So, and hopefully they're just going to keep supporting it with new, probably not a new map anytime soon, but new skins, characters, and things, and keep doing events. So that's sort of my main go-to game. The only thing is it hasn't got achievements with it.
Oh
It's the only
dear.
downer.
That's kind of the downside, isn't it, with some free to play games, the ones that come off of actual proper games.
Yeah.
Like Fortnite hasn't got any achievements either. They're all tied to the original game that was obviously out before it.
Was Gears Plot this year? Was it last year?
Oh, I think that was
Gears
last
Pop.
year, wasn't
I think it was this year.
I nearly contemplated putting it in. I haven't actually looked to see when that was released. Actually,
Number deuce.
I thought that would wind you up if I put that in there. But again, I've put I think about over 80 hours into that game.
Bloody hell!
That just shows you
That's a lot of toilet time.
Yeah. So yeah, that's me. Top 5. Hopefully this year I'll be playing. Mind you, if I play all these games like Cyberpunk and that, they won't be qualified for next year's Game of the Year, will they? Because they'll have been last year. So
indeed, but just
well,
enjoy your
technically,
game.
you might be able to swing it because the official Series X and PS5 versions should be out this year.
Oh
So
yeah.
you
yeah.
Swing it like
Okay,
that,
then.
maybe.
Yeah.
Sorted.
Well, that's how I'm going to get Final Fantasy VII Remake into my Game of the Year for 2021 because it's coming out on PC this year. Anyway, thank you, Peebs. There was an interesting top 5. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I just thought if we all pick the same
nice to have something
games,
different. No,
boring.
yeah, no, it's good. It's interesting to hear about Maneater again and zombie and zombie army. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, nice. I enjoyed that. Who's next?
That'll be me.
Oh, Darren always has some good games.
Yeah, so I pretty much solidified most of my top picks, but it was when it come to number 5 was where I was obviously having a lot of trouble. So originally, I'd narrowed it down to Demon's Souls,
Yep.
Ooh.
Sakura Wars, and Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
Mm-hmm.
But all of them are out the window now because I
Zombie
found out
Army.
Zombie Army came out this year.
So 2 people have
But
that in their top 5. One game that I would never
it's
even thought would be in anyone's top
yeah,
5.
it was just great fun, and it's one of those games where if you're playing it on your own, I imagine it wouldn't make your top 5. But
Yeah.
when you're playing with like friends and stuff, it's such a laugh. Like I remember back when Zombie Army Trilogy originally came out, like myself, Goose, and like Mellafella had so much fun with that.
Yeah.
Like we ran through it on the last, like on nightmare difficulty and all of that lot. We used to scream abuse at people that wanted to get picked up on the final level. We were trying to force the objective, and it's like someone pick me up, and we're like, "Fuck off!" Like getting surrounded because obviously it just ups the amount of enemies you get. But yeah, like we sort of briefly covered, there's like upgrade systems and unlocks, and there's a lot of different things they added to it. Because obviously, Zombie Army Trilogy was such a value package
Mm-hmm.
because it was technically 3 games chucked together, but they almost got a similar amount of content in just this single game.
Yeah.
And yeah, just
Cool.
a really fun, enjoyable sort of third person with the sort of sniper elite stuff. But the only slight downside is I get why they can't do it, but obviously all of the cool slow-mo bullet cam shots you get, you generally only really get those in single player.
Yeah,
If you
no, that's
try playing it in
understandable.
multi, it will sometimes do it, but it's like super quick
Yeah.
because it obviously has to do it while everyone's doing their thing, sort of a thing. So like you don't want to rip like the action away from everyone every 2 or 3 minutes or seconds or whatever when
Yeah.
everyone's pulling off all these cool shots and stuff. But yeah, great fun. I think I did lose it a couple of times playing that.
No, not surprised there at all.
Yeah, I think I remember you being in there once, Peeps, and I was kicking off a bit of the old can in the air blue a fair bit when we was getting swamped trying to get into a portal right
Yeah.
near the end of the game, and you're on top of a fault, and it's just they just don't stop coming, and you're running out of ammo. You've got the big, giant armored ones that are like almost like giant knights, sort of a thing that just soak up ammunition and take ages to kill. And you're running out of the traps and your gadgets and all that sort of stuff. But it was just such a fun, enjoyable experience. But yeah, anyway, moving on because we've covered an unknown game to a lot of people quite a bit. My number 4, I would say, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Is that
Ooh,
low down?
it is.
Wow, what?
There has
What?
been a
Why? Why?
lot of
Why?
good games this year,
Yeah, there
like, in
has
my
actually been
opinion.
a hell of a lot of good games.
Or not necessarily that, a lot of games that could easily be number 1 in any other year.
Yeah, yeah.
Like my top 3 could all be number 1 without a doubt.
Wow, okay. That's
But
just
I had to
crazy
make
that
choices.
that remake is so low down, but it's still in top 5, which is good.
Yeah, I
But
mean it's a beautiful looking game. The music's done like superbly, like the way they've taken the original themes and tweaked it and added stuff in from Advent Children. In fact, actual elements from Advent Children and
yeah,
other parts of the universe, and sort of woven it all in properly. If you're a fan of the Final Fantasies and you don't own a PlayStation, I'd look forward to this when it actually hits the other systems. Hopefully this year. I mean, it's been very quiet on it, hasn't
mm,
it?
mm,
I
mm.
don't think we've even still got an announcement for when it's due out on Xbox or PC
No,
yet.
I mean, I
But it
think
should be March.
yeah, because I think
It
they had
should
a
be
year
March.
exclusive on the
Yeah.
PlayStation. So, but yeah, I'm surprised that nothing's been announced yet. I'm guessing that they can't say anything yet. It might be part of the contract or whatever. But
Yeah, I mean,
uh,
I'm expecting them to announce the PC and Xbox versions the same time as they announce the PS5 upgrade as
yes,
well, because
yeah,
I fully expect this game to get an upgrade on PlayStation 5, which is
yeah,
kind of why I haven't finished it. I'm like well over halfway through the game, But I obviously sort of put it down for a while because obviously other things come out, and during this summer I was busy with like shit tons of work and stuff.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, but it's such a beautifully produced game, like, and considering like even on base PS4 when I've seen it running on that, it still looks fantastic.
Yeah.
So the thing, obviously there's slight issues with texture pop-ins and stuff on doors that aren't particularly great, but I imagine they'll get sorted because that was one of, I think, most people's gripes with it. Like, the game looks amazing, but then you're next to a door that looks like it's out of a PS2 game
Yes, that's it.
in the
Yeah.
background. Sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
you can actually see the squares on it. Sort of thing. Yeah, the reason it's kind of dropped down a little bit is I'm not fully on board with some of the changes made to the story as per se.
Yeah.
But we shall see. I mean, it kind of makes me a little bit worried about the later games where it's almost like, say, like you read a book of a show that's being adapted for TV, and you know the television series is getting up to a really amazing part, and you're like, I can't fucking wait. This is going to be so epic, and then they change it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and
yeah,
you know, and obviously I'm probably one of the biggest Final Fantasy VII fans in the world, and you know,
Really?
I played through the original game countless times. I've actually started another playthrough of it again in the last couple of weeks, and because I've got it on it's on Game Pass, right? But the PC version is separate achievements to the Xbox version, so I'm actually playing on Xbox and PC at the same time for double Chivos. Lols. Anyway, yeah, so I know exactly what you mean there, and you know, I was looking forward to this game for so long, and I really enjoyed it the whole way through, apart from the ending. And obviously, you haven't finished on the song, so I'm not going to spoil it. But because of the ending, I am a little bit concerned about where they go next.
Yeah, I mean, the early padding was phenomenal in my opinion. The way they pad out a few of the smaller characters and add other characters in and everything, and really, really well done.
Yeah,
but it's
100%.
then when you start getting those worries where you're like, hang on, where are they actually going with this? Why are they kind of? I get the fact they don't want to tell the exact same story again, but I think that's what the fans actually want.
Well, this kind of
They
so the
want
whole
the
game
main
felt
story beats to be exactly the same, because otherwise it's not really the same game. It's like a kind of alternate retelling.
Well, this is what I was going to say. Like, it kind of feels to me like a sequel / alternate reality / universe. With things that you you got those whisper things that fly around that weren't in the original game, and various other things that happen. And I can't. Obviously, I need to do a spoiler show about this because I can't. You haven't got far enough for me to mention other things that happen. And I don't want to spoil it for you. But but overall, I think they did a really good job of it, to be honest. Because the way that they did the areas that I know so well, and just the updated visuals and the voice acting, and as you say, the extra stuff with Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse. You know, because in the original game they were very small parts. Well, they played very small parts, whereas in this they you learn more about their backstories, and you spend a lot more time with them. I thought that was really, really good. But it's weird. Like, if you go back and play the original game after playing this as well, it's kind of like, why, Sephiroth doesn't really make an appearance until after
Disc 2.
Well, until you get out of Midgar, whereas this game is just Midgar, and you see Sephiroth shitloads. So that's one massive change in this game, and there's some other massive changes as well that I wasn't really happy with. But yeah, I think they did well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not finished yet, so we'll see where they take it. I can imagine, because obviously the second game's where things are going to get really interesting, because you're going to get introduced to more characters that we should be able to control. Like, you should be able to free roam around.
I think they're going to change
more.
it. I think they're going to change it loads, because you get, like in the original game, you get up to the world map and you get a chocobo, and then you have to go across. You have to explore a little bit, and then you got Fort Condor and Union, and you go across the sea, and you got this massive land mass, and you've even got like a lot of big masses of area on the world map that you don't even need to go to. They're purely optional. Like I think the remake is going to be missing a lot of that content.
The other weird thing as well is the fact that you already have pretty much about the same amount of summons, I believe, as you kind of really had by the end of the full game.
Yeah, I didn't like the way the
To a
summons
degree.
worked in this either.
I mean, they were done really well. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. And if they're done properly, they do actually do their summon finisher at the end of their time and all the rest of
Yeah.
it, rather than just being an actual thing. But how's it going to tie over all of your equipment, all of those summons you've picked up, all of your character stuff,
Yeah.
carry all of that over into the next game?
Yeah.
Without making it not feel like you're just starting another game, chapter 2.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's going to be interesting.
I can imagine they've probably had many meetings about this at Square, and it will be interesting to see, like I said 1,000 times, how they're going to actually try and do it.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
right, so moving on.
Yeah.
Anyway, so so the number 2 and 3, I pretty much knew what my number 1 was anyway. But the number 2 and 3, it was kind of a flip. Which one will I go with? And then I played quite a bit more of the one that's now my 3, and it started to piss me off a little bit. So that's why it's now my number 3.
Go on then.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, it's your number 3. Okay.
Like what Stunty said, it's a beautiful game. It looks lovely. Like it looks better than Odyssey. The combat is worse than Odyssey. I'm sorry, it is. There was a part today where I had a shitty daily in a fucking zone that I didn't have the thing to go to, and the daily was in a castle. So I ended up just getting pissed off, storming the castle, killing the bloke. 20 minutes and about 200 dead fucking guards later. Just to do a poxy daily that they can't be bothered to work out the fucking systems from the previous game and just implement things that worked perfectly well into an updated version. I don't know. And the fact is like the combat, it's great. Don't get me wrong. I love the dismemberment and the finishers and all that kind of stuff. But when you're performing the finisher kills on people, it fucks up the timing. So you can get hit coming straight out of a finisher many times, even though you're blocking at the right moment, and sometimes the block timing feels off, especially for spear people. Whereas in Odyssey, everything just kind of worked as intended, and I never really had too many issues with the combat.
Did you actually like this game?
Sorry?
Did you actually like this game?
Oh no, I'm just picking at the little bits to sort of explain why it is further down the list. I've said before, week after week, that it's still a really, really good game, and it could easily be number 1 if it weren't for obviously the other 2 games that sort of came out. But there are issues with it, and it's not particularly the glitches that I have the issues with. It's mechanics with the gameplay itself to a degree.
I enjoyed Valhalla because Odyssey just felt a lot of side quest bullshit. There was a hell of a lot you couldn't do, and I hated the leveling up system. I mean, what's the point in having a fucking level up system where the characters level up the same as you? I mean, that
you could turn that off. You could turn that off.
We must have changed that then, because it wasn't when I played Odyssey.
Yeah, no, it's in the settings, like one of the settings. Well, I think it was quite early on where you could turn it off, and it was like enemies. They don't sort of like stick to your level, but they'll be like a set amount of levels below you. So obviously, if you're in an early area and you go back there, you don't expect everyone to have suddenly become like a gladiatorial don sort of a thing who can hold their own. So they are sort of like knocked 5 or 6 levels below you, and you do feel it. And obviously, when you start adding in your, what were they called, the sort of over level points, because you could just constantly earn these points after you hit level cap, which they raised from 50 to eventually 99 or 100. So they're like pretty much doubled the level cap.
I don't know what it was. I felt overwhelmed with Odyssey, where I don't.
Yeah.
I think it was a.
Yeah, I can see what Odyssey does feel like a bigger game. It feels like a bigger game because it's more sparse and open. Whereas,
the map's bigger,
and
isn't
you,
it?
yeah, and you sail around and stuff. Whereas the camera is closer to your character in Valhalla. And also when you're sailing around on your longboat, it's not exactly a big old fucking ship, is it? Like it was in Odyssey.
Yeah.
So I haven't really had any big ship battles or any of that kind of stuff. So that kind of makes the world feel smaller in a sense. And at the moment in England, you're kind of just going down canals and stuff, where everything's to the side. But the world in Odyssey feels, Valhalla feels like way more lived in.
Yeah, 100% agree.
And such. Yeah. So it's still a really, really good game, and I thoroughly suggest like picking it up, even if you're a fan of the series or you just like action games or whatever. I mean, I'm like I said before, I'm about 70 something hours into it, and I'm about 30% of the way through the game.
What?
What have
Crazy.
So how much have you conquered?
I have taken 4 areas, and
Is that it? Fucking hell.
Well, if you include that, not including obviously where you start, and I've also completed the first chapter part of the other area I don't really want to mention because it's spoiler. But it's not in England. I'll just say that. So I'm like quite a way into the game, sort of a thing. But obviously another game's been taking up that time, and that game is my number 2.
Yep.
Cyberpunk.
Yes.
And I will say now, if it wasn't for the kind of slight controversy and the glitches and stuff in this, would probably be my number 1.
Fair enough.
Because I fucking love this game.
Were you playing it on
the Series X?
Oh, right.
I'm playing it on. So, like, I know there's a lot of people out there sort of saying, "Oh, it's not really an RPG" and all that. What the fuck is an RPG then? If it's not about leveling up and choosing like your character build and like which weapons to take and crafting stuff and choosing choosing where you go, what missions to do and all of that kind of stuff. And like I've said before, and it's probably the most lived in world you'll experience in a video game, in my opinion, when people aren't obviously standing still like a mannequin and skating backwards along
with a
the floor,
T-shape with their arms out.
Yeah, which I've had happen once or twice, like in my sort of like 70 hours I've put into it so far.
Yeah.
And again, I'm still in early chapter 2.
Yeah.
With this. But it's just the whole world, it just feels like it's hard to explain.
Yeah,
like
I
it just
know
kind of feels like you're in. If like we said before, if this game could be played in like VR,
yeah,
like how you've probably experienced it, Webby, nothing had come close.
Yeah, I think
sort of
you
thing,
know.
in my opinion.
I mean, I've been saying this a lot, right? It's I'm really. It's really weird listening to people who've been playing it on console talk about the game because the experience I've had has been completely different to them, and it just really annoys me that everyone isn't getting that same experience with the game because you know I loved it from start to finish. Yeah, I saw a couple of glitches, but for the most part, it was an epically good time. Really
It's
was.
like I think yes, you just get like these crazy moments that are just awesome. It's like obviously there's multitude of things to do in the world, like you'd say, like side quest bullshit or busy work or whatever you want to call it. But they all kind of fit in. And one of them was like the cyber psycho. So you've got people in the world that have had basically things that have gone wrong and they've gone lunatic and just started
Yep.
killing everyone. So you're kind of sent in as a third wheel beyond, as sort of like working under a sort of police person to basically take them out. And there was this one bloke who was basically like sniping the crap out of everyone that was going near him. So I just popped out from behind the van, basically caused his weapon to malfunction, and he was just basically stood there screaming abuse while I just literally pole vaulted over to him and just started beating the crap out of him with my fists.
Nice.
And he went down like a sack of shit, sort of thing. And I was like, have it. Like, it's just like, yes. Oh. But yeah, that I've said, as again, like the character interactions are fucking amazing. Like, even little things, the very little things. I don't know whether anyone's done this, but there's a point in the game where a character asks you for a cigarette.
Yeah.
And they haven't smoked for years. And I was like, you've had a shit time, have a fag. Every time I bump into that character after that, they're smoking now.
That's hilarious.
And that's just kind of weird.
Because
And
I think you get the option to say, "Oh, you stop smoking, you're not going to have
yes.
one." Yeah.
You do.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
was just like, you know what? You've had a shit time. Like, have one. You know what I mean? Just the one. But obviously, it didn't. It's they're now hooked again. It seems.
Yeah.
Sort of a
That's
thing,
cool.
and
yeah.
it's not just the characters. Sort of like, I'd say the interactions and that they have with you. It's the voice acting as well is brilliant.
Yes.
Well, I'll say everyone is, apart from, I know this is a bit bad to say, but Keanu is kind of Keanu. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, he's great, but when you put him up to some of the other voice acting, which comes over as proper emotional, like you can hear like breaking in their voices and that while they're talking to you if they're upset and all that kind of stuff as well. It's just such a good game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, once obviously all the bugs are fixed and it's sorted out on like the technically last gen consoles and everything. But then I even know people who are playing it on the base PS4 and they're still loving it.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends on kind of what you're expecting from the game when you went into it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even without the supposed next gen upgrade, which is like the ray tracing and the slightly better resolution or whatever it's going to be for thingy, it still looks a fantastic game.
Yeah.
And it's given me some pretty good holy shit moments that not many other games have actually given me, like, as of this year. So anyway, I think we've banged on about that game for enough. So I'll get to my number
and if you're
one.
interested, if you're interested to hear a spoilerific blowout, there is an episode exclusive for the Patreons. So if you want to listen to that, subscribe to the Patreon and listen to that awesome episode. Shameless plug.
I know what your number one is.
So you can probably all guess what my number one is.
Go on.
Because I haven't mentioned it yet. Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima.
I thought it was going to be Final Fantasy 14 again.
Yeah, I was expecting that.
No, you can't have patches, mate. If not,
I'm sure you've done that before.
I've had expansions. I've had expansions, but not patches.
But
patches is a bit out of order.
Pete's had FIFA 21. That's a fucking patch.
That's been patched for years. Still doesn't work, man.
Yeah, because Final Fantasy does an expansion every 2 years. So this year there is going to be another expansion. So expect that to be a game of the year.
Should be revealed next month, early next month, I believe. So yeah, 5.3 was phenomenal. That would have been in my list, but you can't really have like a 6-hour patch for a game story content as in that sort of a thing. It goes to Tsushima. As far as I'm concerned, without a doubt, the best thing that's come out on PlayStation this year, with like by far. The setting I love, the characters. We've talked before. Like, the only downside is you don't really get to choose the path you want to take.
Yes.
It
yeah,
is
and I
kind
know that
of
upset Colin,
done
didn't it,
for
when he
you.
spoke about it? Yeah.
It is kind of, because obviously they made a big thing when they announced the game. It's like, be the ghost or be the samurai, and it's like, well, technically I am the samurai 95% of the time, but then the rest of the time you're forced into playing the other path, which you're told very early on is a dishonourable thing to do.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you're not really given any choice, which is kind of one of my only bad things about the game. I mean, I thoroughly loved the game when it was on PS4. I was playing obviously on the PS4 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
The graphics on it, the way they use the colours and everything is fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's a great art style, really is.
It pretty much reminded me of the same kind of cinematography we used to get from like Hero and House of Flying Daggers, where you just get those vibrant colours popping.
Yeah.
In certain aspects of the zones and areas you're in, and then on top of that, the free-to-play multiplayer mode they completely added into the game with a ton of content.
Yeah, I played a bit of that.
You just can't go wrong.
Yeah, I've not tried the multiplayer
obviously,
yet. Actually, I've still got Evan's copy, so I should try that at
I
some
mean,
point.
technically, if you are gonna maybe pick up a PS5, wait until you've got that, because then you'll be able to play it like at a much better frame rate.
Yeah, I won't be picking a PS5 up for a couple of years, mate. So,
well, until Final Fantasy 16's out or whatever.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah, there's great game. Another downside, I will mention this. I have to mention this because I was fully set on playing the game in original Japanese dialogue.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the lip syncing is completely out. It's the lip syncing is done solely for the Western voiceover. So if you have got it in the original dialogue, the mouths don't move properly to the,
See,
me
that's
out,
really
so.
weird because I played it all in Japanese and I didn't notice the lip syncing issue at all.
You don't really watch a load of Japanese stuff, though, do you? So.
Not really, no.
Uh,
Just video games, mate.
I mean,
Don't
maybe
watch
they've
TV.
changed that in a patch recently or whatever, but I do know that quite a lot of Japanese publications and even Japanese developers have this game in their Game of the Year list.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was like extremely well received overseas as well.
Yeah, it's a great game. I loved it. Loved it from start to
It's
finish.
just a
fantastic.
fantastic send off for the console as well. Really.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it was one of those ones where it had been teased for years and years, and then when it finally arrived, it just didn't disappoint.
This probably would have made my top 5 actually, but the problem was I didn't play enough of it, and I don't know why it just felt a bit slow for me. That's the reason why I went into Assassin's Creed, because I just felt it was good. The storyline was good. It just felt the pacing was just a little bit too slow for me at that point.
Traditional sword combat is very methodical.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like you make a mistake, you're dead.
Yeah, it was. Well, it wasn't just that. It was just the story itself. It just felt. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was one of those where I needed the right time to play it, and I think when I was playing it, if I go back to it, say in 6 months' time, I'll probably love it, a bit like Horizon Zero Dawn, But it was at that time I wanted something a little bit more fast-paced combat, and that's why Assassin's Creed was perfect, Valhalla. But yeah, I probably will go back to it at some point. And it probably would have made my top 5 if.
Yeah, I mean you've got the PS5 anyway, so like
Yeah.
Just play it on that, mate. It won't feel as it will probably feel far more fluid and everything because it's like doubles the frame rate pretty much.
Yeah. I did play a bit of the multiplayer because one of my friends, he's got it and has finished it. And I just jumped in with him because it gave the only thing was a little bit spoilerish because it gives you a few bits that I didn't even have in the game at that point. But yeah, it was quite good. I quite enjoyed it. What we played of the multiplayer.
Yeah, it's different. Like, and I do like the fact that they didn't just go, oh, same thing, same stuff, off you go, just Moria. It's like they completely twisted it and made it all sort of like demons and sort of like everyone's sort of like zombified and dead kind of a thing. And the characters and outfits and that sort of like fully embark on that, and then they use all of that for the color palettes in that mode as well. It's very grim and dark and red and blacks sort of a thing. But yeah, that's my top 5.
Awesome. Cinnamon Dan, I believe.
Hello. You right there?
Glad you're still awake.
I am still awake. I had a nap this afternoon. It was lovely.
Oh,
Peeps
good.
there.
Peter's
Yeah, I'm
He's
still
probably
here.
having his dinner, isn't he?
We got the kiddie section now.
The kiddie section, yeah, buckle up. Yeah, basically, this is PG-13 all the way. So number 5. So this year has been an entertaining year. I probably gamed more this year than I have done in the last 5 years put together. But so hopefully, all these games I put at least some time into. So number 5 is Hades, which none of you have fucking played.
I don't have time, mate. I've been playing all these other games.
It's the download game.
It's a download game, yeah. It's not a physical game. I think it's only available for the Switch and PC. So, but it's getting all these pundits, all these end of year awards, and it's well deserved. Best way to describe it, it's Diablo-esque, I guess, to a degree, with some I don't know. I never played the game, but rogue-like elements. So you play the son of Hades. Where his name's Sagres. I call his name named after the beer, but that's not his real name. That's why I call him in my head. And he basically is trying to escape Hades. And the idea is that you go off into the underworld, fighting minions and dying along the way. And then every single time you come back, you hopefully make some progress in terms of power-ups and stuff you keep sakes and whatnot, and become more and more stronger. The one thing that really sells this is the character building and the conversations you have along the way. There's tons and tons and tons of voice dialogue on this, and it's all well acted. You literally begin relationships with various different gods and deities, and they help you out along the way. It's amazing, to be honest with you. The amount of content in this is ridiculous. There's different power-ups, different weapons, which have different functions depending on what you collect on along the way. There's all sorts of intrigue going on behind the scenes. You can give gifts to your deities and they reward you and all that shit, and you can play all coy with them. Yeah, it's amazing. I do recommend picking it up. But as I said, until that comes on, I suppose, PS4 or Xbox or PlayStation, Xbox, I guess you guys won't be...
I think it is on everything,
no,
to be honest.
It's not on
It's
PlayStation.
not.
It's not.
I thought it was on Xbox, though.
It's not an Xbox.
No, it's PC and Switch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Who's it made by then?
Super Giant Games. Same guys who did Bastion and those other games they did.
Bastion was a brilliant game.
Which
So-
was released on everything, so I wonder why this must have been
It's
exclusive.
about 20 quid download, but you're going to get hours of playtime out of this. There's, as I said, you can take basically the game works by taking runs, and your run is like an escape. But before you go, you pick your key weapon you want to try out and level up this time, and off you go. And all the dungeons respawn, and they're all different every single time you go. All the mazes interconnect, and every single run is different, so you don't know exactly what's coming up. You've got boss fights in there. You've got all sorts of stuff going on. It's amazing. So I recommend it wholeheartedly.
Awesome.
I think you and a ton of other people, mate, recommend that.
Yeah, it's very. I know it's been a very popular game in 2020.
So I'm hoping it will come to more platforms in the near future. It needs to.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it will.
Yeah,
probably
So was
Game
it
Pass.
Transistor as well? They made as well.
Yes, they
Sorry?
did. Yeah.
Mhm.
Transistor. They made that as
Yeah.
well. As Aaron just said. Yeah.
Cool. Number 4, The Mighty Streets of Rage 4. Yes.
Almost an honourable mention, but I didn't want to chip in with it because I knew you'd probably have it on the list.
Yeah.
Not River City Girls.
that was last year, mate. That was it last year? It was a year or two ago. Anyway, if I'm a little bit absent on sometimes on the podcast, it's because I'm playing this.
Fair enough.
I've done it. I've completed it multiple times, solo player, and obviously multiplayer with peeps. Anyone that says this game is too hard is a nub.
Well, consider me a nub then. I tried to
we've
do
always
stage
considered
4
you a
the other
nub.
day, and I kept on dying and fucking gave up.
It is exactly what us Streets of Rage fans wanted in a sequel after all these years. It feels like a Streets of Rage game. That's the most important thing. It's got it's got some kind of the style and the graphics are still there to a degree. Some of the enemies are very standard, well, not kind of like standard
Difficult.
to the series. Yeah, atypical. Yeah, but yeah, they've added to it. They've done a really good job of it. It's really good fun. It's not overtly long and it's not overtly short. It's just right in terms of of toughness. It's got an interesting way of keeping you going. It does away with continues to a degree, and you have a set amount of lives each level, and off you go. And if you lose all your lives, that's game over. You have to restart the level again. So it's that kind of style of gameplay that I suppose makes you get better. Like I used to love back in the days of the SNES and Mega Drive when we didn't have all these bloody save points or cheat codes or nut modes. It actually forces you to get better.
Memory and reflexes.
Exactly. And this is what's missing from modern gaming. Unless it's not. I suppose you've got a degree of that in some of the first-person shooters, but I don't really like those. But there's little things in there which are just phenomenal, and it's relatively cheap and it's still on Game Pass, I believe, still.
I think so, yeah.
But I've been playing on the Switch, so I've literally unlocked everything on the Switch. So it's that's my go-to version.
Good game, not as good as Cobra Kai though.
Has anyone actually played that Cobra Kai?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's good.
Have you?
Yeah, it's good. I enjoy it.
So that must be number 6 or 7, was it, Stanley?
What?
Was that number 6 or 7 in your tally?
Well, no, I forgot about that. It'd be number 8 actually.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, onwards from Streets of Rage. Number 3, quite a recent release, and it's Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity.
Oh!
And I have been ploughing an extraordinary amount of time into this over Christmas. I have been sinking hours into it, and I think every single time I think I've unlocked all the characters, it gives me a new one to unlock, and it's fucking batshit crazy. It's like it sells itself, and if you're not familiar, it's the Dynasty Warriors engine to a degree. So it's big battlefields where you play one of a group of characters, which you can flip between, and off you go. It uses all the graphical assets from Breath of the Wild. It looks like Breath of the Wild in terms of visuals, animations, characters, cutscenes. It looks like Zelda, and it's got all the sounds. It's just, if you love Breath of the Wild, it was my favourite game. It's one of my favourite games of the last 10 years. I think you would probably love this. It takes a little while to get going, but once you're invested, it kind of blows up into this bizarre sequel, prequel, Lord of the Rings type bollocks with mass battles and craziness going on. My main concern when I started playing this was whether or not it was going to be repetitive, and there is an element of that, but there's enough variety with the characters, and but also when you realise you can arm Link with like a double-handed axe or a spear or a boomerang and start levelling that as a weapon up as well as a core weapon, and all of a sudden you realise you've got a whole new move set to start playing around with. You go, oh, I can do this for the next half hour to an hour or so, and start playing that. There's secret, as far as I understand it, there's secret characters to unlock, and I think I've got one of them so far by mistake, which is good. And it's great. I think any Zelda fans will be well happy with this. Have you been playing it, Darren?
No, one of my biggest regrets this year is basically not putting a great deal of time into the Switch. I think it's because I generally don't play it in handheld mode that much. When I'm sat at work, I'll sometimes sit there and think like, oh, maybe I should have bought that in, but then a manager will turn up or something, and I'm just like, oh, glad I didn't. Otherwise, I'd be pissed off.
Yeah.
No, and it's not set up. So I do have to pull the dock out and get another separate plug out and sort all that sort of stuff. So it takes me a few minutes to sort of set it up, but it's not just instantly there for me to just grab and turn on, sort of a thing. So that's why I've kind of neglected, because the Switch has had some really good games this year.
Yeah, it's going to get better next year as well by the looks of it.
Do we still have any? Do we have any word on the new Metroid, or is that just MIA until the next console?
Wait and see. They'll announce it and it'll be out the following day. That's what Nintendo do, don't they? They have a habit of releasing stuff and it being in the shops in quick time. So
that would be a really good thing to do.
That's why I appreciate it. They don't really drag it out. I mean, we all know that Breath of the Wild 2 is coming. And when it will be out, I don't think it'll be this year, but it might be the year after. But we all know it's coming, and when it's ready and it's for us to see, they'll let us see it, and that's fine. You know, it's too often we have games companies tease us and tease us, and games literally, you know, dead on arrival.
6 years, 4 to 6 years away.
Yeah, exactly, and you know, I think that's just I think that's pretty much driven by publishers in order to get obviously interest in their share price and everything. But Nintendo don't need to do that because they're Nintendo and they've got enough going for them behind the scenes to not play that game, which is great. Anything else on that one? All good. You probably know you put common theme on these. All these games I've pretty much played mostly in handheld mode. However, this next game I didn't because it was on the PlayStation 4 and it's Spider-Man Miles Morales.
This was almost in my honourable mentions, but I've only put about sort of like 5 hours into it.
I actually finished the game finally today. It was just the right length. A lot of people will whiz through this next to no time. I have to say, you know, do you sit at the dinner table at a 3-course meal and eat all your food before everyone else is finished?
Yes.
Probably, yeah. So, because everyone looks at you as if I'm kind of a giant pig, because that's how you played Spider-Man Miles Morales. You didn't give it time to breathe. You didn't sit there and just get really bought into this kind of new type of Spider-Man for, I suppose, a new generation, I suppose. If you've seen... I literally the whole game it plays out much like the first Spider-Man for PlayStation, with various kind of retelling of the classic Spider-Man tale with Peter Parker and obviously with various rogues gallery along the way, ripping a lot from the comics, and this one in particular because it's hard to believe that Miles Morales has only been around for about 10 years or so in terms of comic books.
People still buy comic books?
Yeah, I still read them, man. I buy digital ones, I do.
Yeah, online ones now.
Yeah. So in terms of Miles Morales, as I said, if you've seen Into the Spider-Verse, I mean, he's huge now. He's getting as big as Peter Parker in terms of Spider-Man. And this story very much is his personal story. Very much family and friend driven. It uses mostly assets from his side of the story, although there are a couple of I suppose appearances from classic Spider-Man villains and characters along the way. I'm not sure how long it is, to be honest with you, but I did a lot of the side missions and a lot of the crime fighting and a lot of the exploring, and I've still got some stuff to mop up which I'll do at some point. But I just gave enough time just to go exploring, and it is literally the same city as the first game, but they've put it in winter, and they've changed a few things around. Like there's a few new buildings here and there, but mostly it's exactly the same. But because it's a winter, it's icy. There's snowstorms. NPCs acting slightly differently, that kind of thing. So. It's great. It really is. He in particular fights a lot differently to Peter Parker. I think I mentioned this before. He's got this. He's got slightly different powers in the sense that he can go invisible by camo, and you can use it if you advantage for stealth, as well as disappear mid-fight and confuse the hell out of them. He's also got his Venom Punch as well, which you rapidly charge up, and you can literally use it to steamroll and bulldoze at enemies that are getting a little bit too tasty. It's great. It's amazing. Any questions?
Nope.
No, I will play at some point. I mean, I love the Spider-Man, but it's just I've got so many games I want to play at the moment, and it wasn't that long ago since I played Spider-Man, so I like to give it a bit of a break before.
Yeah, I platinumed the first one, and I think that was this year, last year that I played that. So, like I say, I've got this ready to go. So I will play it at some point.
Fuck me, that's some grinding on that. Doing all the battles on the
Yeah, it did take a while.
Clearing all the zones and areas and stuff. Did you do all the City Never Sleep stuff as well, Peebs, or did you just do the base game?
The base game.
Original. All right. Because there was like a load of DLC, wasn't there, as well?
Yeah, I've got that as well to do, and I haven't done that yet. Well, I've done some of it.
I've done some of it. I've still got to finish up the DLC as well. The DLC is okay. The thing is, once you go from the DLC to Miles Morales, you'll go, "Oh, Miles Morales is so much better than the DLC." It literally is night and day in terms of content. It feels very, very
streamlined. Well, not streamlined, smoother.
Like, yeah, no, not so that. The DLC for Spider-Man feels very leftover dinner. You know, if that makes sense. It feels very filler. It doesn't really feel, and because you're facing off against Hammerhead, who, if I'm being honest, he's a bit of a very, very. It's like a D list Spider-Man villain. Hammerhead is, or a Z list. He literally is a bloke with a metal head who basically headbutts people. That's basically it. Yeah, cool.
How long do you reckon we'll have to wait until we get Venom? In a Spider-Man game, because obviously it's Sony, they own both.
Interestingly, I believe. I suppose doesn't really spoil anything, but if you, it's coming. Let's just say that. Play the game for fuck's sake. Play the game for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
so there's Easter eggs. 100 there's hours Easter
doing,
eggs then.
One part.
No. If you're really curious, just go and look it up on YouTube, and you'll be fine. You'll find out. But I think there is going to be a Venom soon enough. Yeah.
Because obviously Sony own a few sort of characters from that universe as well. I believe Mobius is also one of theirs.
Yeah. What's it like? Not Mobius. Is it Morbius? It's Morbius. Morbius. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, Morbius. That's a film coming out this year. Obviously, Carnage. There's a whole host of Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider, I think, is coming soon as well to the cinematic universe. And they won't be surprised if they introduce some kind of elements of Spider-Verse into the next Spider-Man game, although I think that would probably be a bit of a mistake and a little bit too much of, milking the golden egg a little bit too quickly.
It all depends where they go with the next film, because the next film's supposed to be all touching into the multiverse stuff anyway, isn't it? Because Doctor Strange is in it, and
there's a whole host of rumours going on about that. I mean, it's all speculation.
And possibilities of the old Spideys coming back and stuff in the other films.
None of those are confirmed right now. I think the only thing that people have been confirmed to return are Jamie Foxx as Electro and Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. And as you probably know, if you've seen the films, Jamie Foxx was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and Alfred Molina was a Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2 by Sam Raimi. So there's
you could tie in the fact that Sam Raimi is actually doing the next Doctor Strange film, and where Doctor Strange is going to be in the next Spider-Man film.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of webs to tie together.
Yes, it's going to be interesting how they're going to pull this off, because it could be a dog's dinner, or
could be a Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, it could be a Spider-Man 3, which is. I need to watch that again, because I know it's bloody awful, but I do have
I did enjoy it when I saw it.
Yeah, I have a sick enjoyment about watching shit movies, so possibly, but yeah, all good.
Oh, by the way, I know you're. I know this is completely off, but I heard something the other day about. There's like a program or something called like The History of Swearing with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, I started watching that and turned it off after 10 minutes.
It's American, isn't it? It's not all
it's
the
just
proper
annoying.
swear words.
Too many swear words for you, Peeps.
No, it wasn't.
I know you're
I
a
was
Nick
quite
Cage
interested.
fan, then.
No, I quite like him, but I just found it was all just a bit. I expected it to be quite a serious. I was quite interested to learn the origins of the actual swear words. I thought it was going to be like a. And it was done a bit bit silly, and it's all comedians on there, American comedians you've never heard of. And it's sort of just like a big piss take. But yeah, I turned it off.
There was one particular swear word when I thought, well, I would have preferred a different version of that swear word, but obviously that would be a little bit too offensive, even for Netflix, I reckon. But we'll see. There might be a series too. But yeah, I watched all of it. I watched it all, sat down in one night, and I watched it all. It was fine. It was fine. You know, it was interesting enough. Cool. Right. Buckle up. Number one. We all know it's coming.
Numero uno.
Yeah. I have done 505 hours into this fucking game this year. Right? Animal Crossing New Horizons. It is literally every single day. It's like a sore tooth. I go to it and I literally do me dailies. I fanny around a bit.
You sound like Darren there doing your dailies.
Yeah, do me dailies. I go look for the bottle on the beach. I go and see who's turned up to visit my island. If it's like Red, the fox in his dodgy ship selling me fucking illicit fake wares, go and sort him out. I've got a little app on my phone. I can go and check all the paintings he's selling me on the day to see which ones are real and which ones are fake. So I stitch him up. It's just so sad. I mean, I know we're in lockdown at the moment, and you know, this New Year's was the first year I spent New Year's sober in 25 years. All right. And you know, I spent it on midnight in between watching Hootenanny with Jules Holland. Spent it on fucking Animal Crossing. All right, fucking Animal Crossing. Yeah, they had a little countdown clock as well. We had little glow sticks, and hey presto, I spent it with my Animal Crossing friends, my real friends.
When?
Yeah, it's hard to explain to some people what's so appealing about it. I think it was. I think the reason why I became so hooked is because when you got fuck all to do from March until July, and literally it was fuck all. You end up, you know, developing a really, really kind of sadistic habit of monotony, like having 4 or 5 hour kips a night, and then having sleeps during the day, and in between waiting for certain events to happen on an imaginary island populated by animals.
Furries.
Yes. Furries, yes. Furries. It's more personable as well. I mean, I started teaching my Animal Crossing Islanders rude words. One of them greets me by calling me knob cheese. Another one, I've got calling. I keep telling the word nub nub. I've told them. I teach one of them how to fart. One of them says milky milky. You know, and you kind of, even though when you start, all the animals seem kind of like all 2-dimensional. Once you start talking to them and they open up, that their kind of personalities evolve, and you get them to a point you become quite attached to them. You actually care about what's going on. So when you do finally get a new islander turn up, you know, who's this fucking Freakosaurus? And then either they grow on you or they don't until you bin them at the first opportunity. It's quite.
You're like, who's left?
Yeah, it's like
make room.
There was a hippo with a poo moustache turn up, and I mean, I can't have you on my island any longer. You look like you've been eating arse.
Strokey McGinger in the Twitch chat says that he's visited your town, Dan, and he says it's very impressive.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I've recently redone it. I did all the flower beds. I got bored a little while ago, so I kind of moved the museum and I cleared a flat space to make flower beds, and now I'm bored with that, so I'll probably dig that up at some point. So it's literally, you know, it's like Stockholm Syndrome, this game. It is. It really is. It's addictive. And then the best thing about it, there's no DLC, or everything is free of charge when you get through. I mean, the most you can spend it on is on those little Animal Crossing, you know, cards, which I did actually delve in because I had a shitload of fucking furlough money to float, and because I wasn't drinking at the time, so I bought, you know, I spent about 20 quid on those. So I had all sorts of little animals turn up, so they're in my drawer at the moment. That's basically I spent 60 quid on this game ish. 60 quid, maybe 50, 60 quid, yeah.
And 60 quid for 500 hours is pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah. And I've got all the KK Slider songs now. Yeah, think I'm going mad, mate.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's
Crazy Dan.
here's to another 500 hours.
No, I'm glad you had fun, Dan.
Is that the
Good
most
job.
you've ever put into any game?
Mm,
Do you think?
well, possibly, without counting
Like
Pac-Man
Gears, maybe back in the day and stuff.
I reckon I put a few hundred hours into Pac-Man Championship Edition. I was excellent at that game. Really, really good. Was that number? The Pac-Man Championship Edition, DX Plus. That was my game go-to, but I haven't played that for a while. And then what happened on that, obviously because it wasn't on the Xbox 360, I think my save corrupted as well, so I couldn't add any further to my high score. So I literally had to do it all over again, and there's no way I'm sitting down for hours and hours and hours racking up all those, hundreds of a second of individual maps. No way. But yeah, I shall retire the undisputed king of 360 Gamercast of Pac-Man. Yeah. Oh, good, man. That was my top 5.
Awesome, mate. Yeah, brilliant. I enjoyed that. Thank you very much.
Okay, here we go.
Well, is it my turn?
Yeah.
We've all got to go off now.
Yeah.
See you
What
then.
time is it? It's
Yeah,
half
see you
past
later,
10.
boys.
Half 10. It's still early. Yeah, it's all good. Right.
Shit. Okay.
Don't be a wimp. I'll be at least half an hour. That's fine.
At least half an hour.
Yeah.
That means you can be on for about 2 hours.
Right. No, because most of the games that have already been talked about, so it's fine. I'm not going to be long at all. But unlike you, Noobensteins, I'm the most hardcore gamer out of the lot of you. So when I tried to do my top 5, I struggled for about 5 minutes, and then I realised I played at least 14 or 15 games that came out in 2020. So I managed to get together a top 10. And I'm going to read it out because I'm allowed to. I cheated, but fuck you all.
Yeah.
Right. Number 10. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. None of you had
was that this year?
It was in 2020. It was indeed early 2020.
It's on Game Pass. I've been thinking about picking it up, but I heard it was quite hard.
Well, if I completed it, Peebs, it can't be that hard, can it?
That's true.
So, because I could never finish the first game, Ori in the Blind Forest, because it was too hard. This one's actually easier. And what I love about it is, one is the art style is just absolutely beautiful, and you don't really get a lot of really good side-scrolling kind of platform games like this anymore. It's very Metroidvania. You get the big map and you explore, and then you go back to certain areas when you've got certain powers, and the story itself is really well done as well. And it's just the game is just a work of art, and it was just a pure joy to play from start to finish for me. It was just absolutely brilliant. And it's available also on the Switch, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's not just an Xbox game. So if you've got a Switch, I imagine this would be the perfect game to play in handheld mode. So that's that. See, I'm blasting through these, mate. Blasting through them.
Skip to the end.
This game is a fan remake actually, and it is a little bit of a cheat, but it actually officially released in 2020. It was an early access for a couple of years beforehand, but I waited until 2020, and this is Black Mesa, which is a fan remake of the original Half-Life. I picked this up early on in the year. It's actually on the Steam store. You can buy it. Steam were happy for the fans to remake the game, and that's one thing I love about Valve is they usually
that is good of them.
Yeah.
Nintendo would have had a complete fit and given
Well,
them
that's
a
it.
cease and desist straight away.
Well, I'm sure Valve have probably taken a small cut of every purchase,
doubt.
but it's really well done. It's a full remake, absolutely full, brand new engine, the game from start to finish. It looks beautiful. I mean, I remember playing the original back in, I think it came out like 98, 99 around that time. I remember playing it on PC back then, and it's renowned as being the start of a new genre, the first person shooter with a really good story, but before Half-Life, it was just like your Dooms of the world, just running and gunning, and yeah, I really enjoyed the remaster of this. It was great from start to finish. Graphics awesome, story awesome. They added some extra bits as well, which was really, really cool. So if you've got a PC, Black Mesa, pick it up. It's amazeballs. Okay, next, number 8. Watch Dogs Legion. And I know it had its issues, and I did have some issues with the game, performance wise, etc. But if you can look past the issues of the game, it's actually got a really good story. If you actually just blast through the main campaign. Number 2, it's set in London, the greatest city in the world. It looks beautiful. All the landmarks are there. It's literally London, brick by brick. It is mapped out as London actually is in real life. And for me, that was just awesome. Obviously, because we've all been in lockdown, it was kind of like visiting London for 20 or 30 hours, and doing some cool stuff. The ray tracing, I have to get it in there, is absolutely stunning on this game. The graphics on it are awesome. It really was one of those games that really showed off the power of the PC. That's another reason why I really loved it. It's just I felt like I was actually playing a proper next gen title when I was playing it in the graphics department. Gameplay was a bit repetitive though, to be quite honest with you. That's why it was a bit lower down than what I wanted it to be initially. But it was just if you wanted to, you could pretty much just rinse and repeat the same. The missions the same way, using the same tactics if you really, really want to. But I really enjoyed it. It was really, really fun, and it was a good game. There we go. Number 8, Watch Dogs. Woo! Anything out? Any questions? Anything you want to say?
How gutted are you, Peeps?
I think it might have been in my top 5 if it actually worked and I didn't have my issues, but hey ho.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Right, shall I move on? I'm moving on. I'm guessing the tumbleweed says move on. Okay, right. Number 7 is Fall Guys.
Ooh.
This was kind of just a hidden gem for me. I put about 40 or 50 hours into this game in 2020.
Jesus Christ.
I know. And I mentioned it in podcast episodes, but I just got the feeling that you guys just got a bit bored of hearing me talk about it a little bit. But it was one of those games that was just one of those, you load it up and you think, oh, I'll have 10, 20 minutes on it, because each game doesn't really last very long, but it has that one more go factor for me. I didn't play it with anyone else. I just went into games on my own, and I just had a lot of fun. It was just silly fun. Just the maps are wacky, the outfits you can put in your characters are wacky. It was just silly fun, and I just really enjoyed playing it. There's not really any proper skill to it. I mean, once you get to know the maps, I suppose you can figure out how to get to the end a lot quicker than newbies. But there is some randomness to it, with being knocked off and people knocking you off, etc. But I really liked it. I really like how Mediatronic have kept on updating the game throughout the year. They've added a hell of a lot of maps throughout its lifespan so far. A lot of extra content in regards to adding outfits for your characters and stuff. And you earn the currency for that just through playing the game, which I really, really like as well. So great game, and I really wish it'd come to Xbox. It's missing from the Xbox platform. I think it's missing from the Switch as well. It's only so it's only on PC and PlayStation, which is a little bit of a shame, because I think this is one of those games that I think would really do well on the Switch again, especially in handheld mode. And again on Xbox, you get in a party of mates and just have a blast on this. So I think that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, Fall Guys, loved it. Now, my number 6 game, these next 6 games, it was really hard for me to get an order for this. And this deserves, actually, number 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2 all deserve to be number 1. But unfortunately, they can't, not all games can be number 1. So number 6 for me is Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now,
I will say, you have VR, don't you? Because they have added VR to this recently, I've heard.
yeah, they have. I haven't actually tried it in VR because every time I play anything in VR, I feel sick. So, yeah, I can't. I have not actually put it on for a while. But this game is just a technical marvel. It really, really is. Every time I play it, I'm just amazed. You know, and I'll say that I'm repeating myself, but you can literally go anywhere in the freaking world. I mean, if that does not impress you, nothing's going to impress you. The graphics on it are realistic and stunning. You know, you can play it. You know, the options on it are at such a level where you can play it as a noob like me with a flight stick and just go, or you can have it down to the intricacy of having it super realistic. So if you're a pilot, you can fucking do everything that a real pilot needs to do to fly a plane. Like, it's at that point where the cockpit, every button, you know, the cockpits are laid out exactly like their real life counterparts. You know, I've been that sad. I have watched videos, like hour-long videos of real pilots playing the fucking game and talking about the comparisons to real planes. You know,
Terrorists can confirm this.
yes, it is so good. I'm thinking about it now. It probably should have been higher on my list, but I can't change it now. It is so good. It's one of those games that I keep on going back to and playing, and you know, it's got a lot of options. So you know, you there's an option where you have a globe and you can spin the globe and be like, right, I want to take off from there and I want to go there, and it sets a route if you want to follow it or whatever. They've got challenges like landing challenges, so you get like challenging like short runways or in windy conditions, and then you've got these bush trips where you get legs, which you have to like they give you clues on what to look for landmarks to finish your trip and to get to the airport at the end of the leg, which I've really been enjoying doing recently. Yeah, it's a great game. I mean, you can't really call it a game; it's a simulator. It's just outstanding. And one thing I love about PC is the modding community. So the modding community have put out a lot of stuff where you can just edit your planes and put like, you know, British Airways logos on and EasyJet and all that, like all that cool stuff. And very recently as well, there's been some mods put out where you can have Star Wars ships in the game as well. You can
Yeah, I
fly
think
them.
I saw a
Yeah.
Slave One pic
It's
or
like
something
real
you had
life.
put up.
Yeah.
Just sounds like a job.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I've played this game for I think when I last looked about 160 hours, and it came out in like August, I think, time. So I've been playing it a lot. Some quite a bit of that has been on autopilot though,
I'd say yeah,
to get some
overnight,
Gevos.
overnight.
Yeah, overnight autopilot. But yeah, I've been really enjoying this game. It's just been insane.
Don't ever besmirch me for going for dinner and getting achievements when you're putting on at night and going
Go
to
to
bed.
bed.
to get achievements.
You'll be doing it when
It's a
it
whole
comes to
nother level.
Xbox next year, guaranteed.
Or this year, isn't it?
Yeah, coming out of the summertime, isn't it? So yeah, that's my number 6, Flight Simulator. Absolutely astounding. Right, into the top 5 now. These are the games that matter. So at number 5, and this will probably surprise Darren actually that it isn't higher. Ghost of Tsushima is at my
Ooh.
number 5. Absolutely love this game, and I know when I was talking to Darren earlier on in the year, I was saying to him that it was probably going to be a lot higher than this. But I've had a lot of time to reflect and think about my list and the games I've played and how they've made me feel inside in the feels. And Ghost of Tsushima is definitely a worthy number 1, to be honest. But it is where it is. I loved it from start to finish. I know Stunty reckons it's a bit long and has a lot of filler. I kind of did quite a few of the side missions, but then got to a point a bit like in AC where I was just like, oh fuck this, I just want to mainline the main campaign, and got to the end, and the ending was actually very powerful. Probably one of the best parts of the game, to be honest. I had a little tear in my eye at the end. I have to say, I got a little bit emotional. But the story was really really good. I love that Japanese kind of culture. It's something that has always fascinated me, and I just really really liked the that ethos of your having your honor and keeping it intact. But again, as Darren was saying earlier, it's a little bit annoying that you don't get a choice in some of those parts. But I thought overall worthy game for top five, and I would probably go as far to say, it's worth buying a PlayStation just to play this game, just to experience it. It is that good. And it was just the little things, that the little touches I really liked as well. It's like it had very minimal UI, which I really really liked. So it made you look at the world a lot more than other games. I really liked that there was no mini map, and the only way that you knew where to go was the guiding wind. I thought that was a really clever feature, to be honest, because you just appreciated the world a lot more, and the graphics and the art style and the lighting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any questions? No.
Nope.
Okay. Number 4, and this will probably surprise people where this is actually. Cyberpunk 2077 is at number 4. I mean, we've talked about this game to death, to be honest. So I'm not really going to bore you too much with it. But I will say, overall, I loved it from start to finish. I personally think that the issues with the game were blown completely out of proportion when it came out. Yes, there was bugs. Yes, there was glitches. But underneath those issues is one of the best games of the generation. To be quite honest with you, my experience was phenomenal. I mean, it ran like dog shit when I was driving around the city half the time, but the game looked absolutely beautiful, uh, and I loved how the city just felt alive. But one of the things that makes me just think about the game even now, even though I finished it, a good few weeks back, like I still think about the characters. That's the main takeaway for me from this game. It's not your character, it's Johnny Silverhand and the various other characters throughout the game who you become very emotionally attached to, and you could miss out on that if you don't do their side missions. To be quite honest with you, you've got the love interests, and you've got other characters who you spend a lot of time with, and and, and what I like about it as well is they feel very human, very real, not just very not tacked on. And it's simple things like when you're not with them and you're driving around the city and maybe about to do a main mission or whatever, and they'll send you a random text message, and then you can reply and have like a little text message conversation, which I think that's a really really cool thing. I like the fact that there's multiple endings to the game as well, so you get a little bit of a choice. And I mean, I had a decent ending. That's all I'm going to say. And then I watched all the other endings on YouTube because I wanted to have a better picture for the spoilerific show. And they are all very different. And there's a lot of choices in the game which I think are very very well done. Keanu Reeves as Johnny Silverhand. I know some people moan about him, but I think he was absolutely brilliant.
I think he's good,
Yeah.
but like his delivery compared to a lot of the other characters' deliveries is like you said, it's very Keanu Reeves sort of deadpan.
I know what you're saying. I mean, I think it was very well done. I really liked it. And I liked the little twists along the way in the storyline. To be honest, it's hard to talk about. Again, this is why we needed a spoilerific show, because it's very hard to talk about the game without spoiling it. But there's a lot of twists and turns throughout the game, and and again, my big takeaway is the emotional storylines with a lot of the characters who you meet, and just how fucked up the future probably is going to be, with the AI, and just the main story of what you got this chip in your head and all that sort of stuff. It's a great game, and it's something that I still think about it a lot. To be honest, it was fantastic. Cool. Any questions? No. Okay.
So talked about it a hell of a lot.
Yeah, I know. That's what I say.
Since it came out.
Okay. Number 3 is a game I got for Christmas, and I haven't actually finished it yet, but I have definitely spent enough time on it to give it the number 3 position. I've spent over 20 hours in Yakuza Like a Dragon. This game is absolutely brilliant, and I imagine if I'd completed it, it probably would have got higher. But I can only talk about and have a judgment from where I've played up to. So as I say, I spent over 25 hours in the game. I'm not even halfway through it because I've looked online at how many chapters there are. There's a lot, and I'm only on like chapter 7. And as a big Yakuza fan, I've loved all the Yakuza games. This will be the 8th Yakuza game I have played. I've played them all in order. I've also played Judgment, which is a spin-off game, and I love the series. Now, this is the first game that actually has English voice acting, but I've opted, obviously, for the Japanese voice acting because, I want it to feel the same. And I was a little bit worried about this game at first because I was thinking, they've changed a hell of a lot. So, brand new character, which oh, hang on, something's going on my headphones. Am I sounding weird?
Fine.
Hey, you sound fine, mate.
Oh, just give me a second with my headphones. My headphones come out.
Clients.
Oh, okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I pulled my headphone wire out. Yeah. So as I was saying, it's really well done. The new character ties in very, very well. So you could actually jump into this without playing any of the other Yakuza games and be perfectly happy with it. But what I do like about it is it has a lot of nods to fans of the series. So the clans, or the gangs, the Tojo clan and the Omi Alliance and various other Yakuza gangs are heavily featured in this game, which is really, really cool. And the main thing I was worried about was the change to the battle system. So the Yakuza games have always had a very arcadey battle system. You jump in,
Virtua Fighter-esque, kind of, wasn't it?
Yes, that's it. Whereas this, they've gone turn-based, so they have a proper turn-based battle system. And I was wondering how that was going to work, but it's done so well. It really, really is. So one of the big things about this game is the main character is a big Dragon Quest fan. So if you've never played Dragon Quest or heard of it, it's a very popular JRPG series, which has turn-based combat. I think the series started in the late 80s, to be honest. They've done quite a lot of games.
I think it started on the Famicom, didn't it? The original.
So they've just re-released the first Dragon Quest with English dub or English translation on the Switch for about $5.
Yeah.
So it's only going to be available to the end of March, so get on it.
Yep. Do it now. Yeah. So as I was saying, I really, really love this game, and what I'm liking about it as well is just again, I'm trying not to spoil it, but it's just the way the game starts and a lot of really mental things happen in the storyline. And then so basically, if you play the original games, you start off in the original city, the whole city's there, and then stuff happens, blah blah blah, and then the rest of the game's in another city, and there's all the stuff happening, and you meet a lot of. One of the things that keeps you playing these games is the cast of characters. So throughout the game that I've played so far, you meet a really awesome, vast array of characters. And a lot of the game is serious, but there's a lot of the crazy Japanese stuff as well, which I find I still can't quite wrap my head around. So like the soap lands are heavily featured in this game, and they're basically prostitution houses. And then you've got a lot of really weird kind of nudity happens in the game, and some of the side missions as well, which is kind of weird. But if you can look past that, it's got a very serious main quest line like the other Yakuzas, but all the side quests are just crazy Japanesey. But this is the first Yakuza I've played where I want to do all the side missions before I move on to the next main part of the game. So it's just laid out slightly different on the map. So on the map you can see they're like little bubbles. You can see where every single side mission is on the map. So I'm literally going around the map and doing all them and then moving on to the next main story. And it's very JRPG-ish in a way where you're leveling up all your characters as you're doing this. So you kind of need to do it in a small way to kind of grinding your dudes to get up to a decent level, and then you're not going to be too underpowered for the next main mission with a epic boss fight. So yeah, it's a great game, and I think people should check it out, man. It's available on all systems: PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Sorry, Nintendo, but it's not on there. And I think it's like 30 quid. I mean, Xbox users have got a really good deal because on Game Pass you're getting all the original Yakuza games anyway. So if you're up for starting the story from the beginning, but as a standalone, this is a brilliant game. Okay, any questions? I'm guessing
No,
not.
I
I'm
figured
guessing you're
once
all.
you'd started playing it, he'd be into it, sort of
Yeah,
thing. 'cause
yeah, it is. It is
when
one of
I
those
played
things.
the demo, it was like, oh, he'll probably like this, fan of the old turn-based, and it's still Yakuza at heart.
Yeah. Yeah, I think some people didn't enjoy. I mean, it's kind of Marmite, the Yakuza games. It's like, can you get into it? I mean, I remember when Yakuza 0 came out on the Xbox Game Pass, and a lot of people were messaging me on the Discord and that saying, "Oh, this game's shit. Don't like the weird
Yeah.
Japanesey stuff." But it's not for everyone. But I love those sort of games. So yeah, awesome, good times. Okay. Number 2. Oh, what could number 2 be? Oh, Final Fantasy VII Remake is at number 2.
Oh,
Ah. So, this was a difficult one. This took a lot of thinking the past couple of weeks, because initially it was a little bit further down, but then but it was so long ago since I played it. It's been almost a year since the initial release. I had to go back and watch some videos and just kind of get those feelings back that I had when I initially played it. And it was so fucking good. It is. They did such a good job, and it was one of those things I was really worried about when but before release. Like, it's like, it's my favorite childhood game, and I was thinking to myself, are they gonna fucking ruin my childhood? That was like one of those things. It's like when they remake your favorite Disney movie into one of those live action things, and it's a total fucking
I suppose
mess.
when Rolf Harris turned out to be a dodgy fucking dirty pervert.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and but anyway, from start to finish, I mostly love the game, apart from the ending, which I'm not going to spoil for Darren here, who seems to be taking forever to finish it. But again, I just want to echo what I said earlier on in the year. It's really, really well done. I loved the stuff the extra stuff they did for Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse, especially the Jesse mission. She had a whole chapter dedicated to her, and made you, because I knew what was going to happen. I was just thinking, oh man, I'm getting really, really into this character, and shit's going to go down a bit later on. There was, I really liked the way that they did a lot of the side missions within the game as well. I did everything, every single side mission. I loved it. Even the one part that I was worried about as well was the cross dressing part. I loved it. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It was so tongue in cheek, because in the original game, it takes ages. You need to get all the right clothes, wig, and all the right parts and all that. And it was just when you get into that section and it's like this whole dancing mini game, I was in hysterics. I thought it was just so funny, so well done. I loved it. And it was just, I was in awe when I was playing the game. You know, I know the original game inside out, and visiting all those locations just in the stunning updated graphics. It was just pure fan service, and I just loved it. It was just so good. I loved the voice acting of all the characters were really, really well done. I loved how they portrayed Barrett in this because I
I
remember,
believe, yeah,
yeah,
sorry, Don Cornholio, or whatever his name
yeah,
is,
yeah,
or Don whatever, was Mark
Don.
Hamill,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think he
I
was.
believe.
Yeah, I think I was just going back to Barrett. It was
Cornetto
quite,
and that, sorry.
yeah, it's quite interesting because Sly Ullman was when he was playing the game, he was messaging me quite a lot, and at the beginning, like at the beginning of the game, Barrett comes off as quite, a really
Bit
like
of an arse.
grumpy, a bit of a grumpy black dude, and he was like, oh, the only black guy in the game, and he's a grumpy asshole, blah blah blah. And I was like, you don't know his story, he's
It's called character development.
yeah, he is one of my favorite characters in the original Final Fantasy 7 because he's actually a really emotional guy and he's really nice guy and he adopts a girl of one of his friends, and all that. So, he's a really, really nice guy and he and at the beginning, obviously he doesn't know Cloud and he comes off a bit of an arsehole, but as they're as they become good friends throughout the game, you find out a lot more about his background, and he is a brilliant character. I think he's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, loved it from start to finish, and I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it. I might not like it, but I've still got the original game to fall back to. I'm just glad they did what they did with this. It was a great game. So, any questions? I think you all know what my number one is now. I think it's a bit
Yeah, pretty much.
it's a bit easy to figure out now. It's the only one I haven't talked about. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, my number one game of 2020. What a game. What a fucking game. It is easily, I'm thinking about it, easily my number one. It beats every game that come out in 2020 for me. Just with it is actually going down for me as the best Assassin's Creed game that's ever been made. It is that good, in my opinion. It's even got me, after I completed it, I wanted more action of that, so I've started watching Vikings on Amazon Video with my missus, and we're already up to season 3 in a couple of weeks. So,
You've got, speaking of Amazon Prime, I know it's obviously completely different, but you should check out Vinland Saga.
okay,
It's
we'll
a
do.
Japanese anime series all about Vikings.
It'll go on my list.
And there was actually a tie-in for the
Mhm.
game in Japan.
Oh, nice. That sounds cool. That does
And
sound cool.
it's fucking awesome. It's got one of the best sort of antagonists ever developed in anything. Like, such a brilliantly written character.
Mm.
Sort of
Okay,
like,
yeah.
definitely
check it.
check it out.
Yeah, we'll do,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, so I just want to just talk about a little bit about Valhalla. Obviously, I know we talked about it quite a lot, but it's one of those games that made me interested in that portion of British history because it's something that I didn't really know a lot about. So it made me actually do a little bit of reading up on the history. Started watching, obviously, Vikings. Going to start the Last Kingdom as well afterwards. But the game itself, I really liked it. What one part that I don't think we have really mentioned is the current world stuff that happens within Valhalla. I know obviously you haven't finished it, Darren, but the current world stuff, the people that go into the animus, I think is really well done in this as well. There's not a lot of it, but what they have in there is I really liked, and I thought was awesome without giving any spoilers. The main character is just so well done. I think he is one of the best characters I've played in a video game in a long time. So well realized, and I loved the beginning of the game. You're starting off, in the frozen wastes, and it's like, right, you're going to go on this epic voyage to England, and I was thinking to myself, oh, what's England going to be like? And it's just, you get there, and it's just lush green land, and it's just, because when you start playing it, you're thinking, oh, it's a bit samey, isn't it? It's all snow, like it's no colour, it's not vibrant, and then you get to England, and you're like, wow, this looks stunning. I think this game, I think I should count how many screenshots I took in Assassin's Creed compared to Cyberpunk, because both those games I took a hell of a lot of screenshots, but it's just like when you're just traveling around in Valhalla, and you're just looking out in the distance at all this scenery, mountains, the light coming off the sea from the sun or the moon, and you just, you're walking around that world, and you're thinking, fuck me, I feel like I'm there. It is that immersive. It just looks stunning. But going off graphics, I mean, Strokey's just saying it's one of the one of the most beautiful games he's ever played, and I have to agree, and that's one of the reasons why it's so immersive. Just that color palette and just the lighting and the god rays, as he's mentioned, is stunning. It's
Well,
not
it
just that.
helps as well when
Yeah,
the camera's tighter on your character. You see all the
yeah,
details and the
yeah,
shimmering off the like the metal on your shield or weapon you've got.
yeah. It's just very, yeah. All those reflections are just absolutely stunning.
Also, like we touched on it before, it's got, in my opinion, like that and Odyssey, the best HDR I've seen since Horizon.
See, I've never
For
played
me.
it with HDR because I'm playing it on PC. So,
Uh,
and I still think the colours looked amazing and popped, and the lighting and all that looked stunning. But it wasn't just. It's not just that though, right? I mean, there's more to a game than graphics, and the one and the other thing that I want to highlight is, I know people are going to disagree with me, but I really like the battle system, and I really like the upgrade system. I really like that grid, so you could choose which way to go. But I got to a point in the game where I'd maxed it out and unlocked everything because I played it that much. And I thought that was really, really well done. I liked the different choice of weapons. You could have two axes if you wanted, a sword and shield, or whatever, and you find a fighting style which you enjoy, and you kind of stick to it. So mine was the two axes. I kind of stuck to that. Well, at the end, actually, I had an axe and a flail because I thought that was pretty cool.
Flyers are good.
Yeah, but what I really liked about it, it had. It had the historical characters, and it was a little, it had all the backstories and all that. But I really liked that. I loved the politics involved as well, and going from kingdom to kingdom, and all that was really, really cool. But I also liked the mystical stuff, and I didn't think I would really be into that in an AC game, but the mystical stuff with all the gods.
They are some of the best parts, like the mystical stuff in both Odyssey and Origins were like some of the standout moments. Because obviously you go from obviously your standard sort of fare to sort of like fighting these mythical creatures and beasts. Stuff.
Yeah. I really love those portions, and they're completely optional as well, and they were massive portions of the game, to be honest, to be optional, and I loved it. And that ending, it is obviously I'm not going to spoil it for you, Darren, but it is one of the best endings to an AC game I've experienced. It was so well done. It made my jaw drop. Like the stuff that happened, so good, so fucking good. That's it. Game of the Year 2020, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I bet people weren't expecting that as my number one. There we go.
Well, I was, because you've been saying that for the last few weeks.
You had teased the over the last few
told
weeks.
Us all.
Yeah, it's amazing. Right, shall we go into some of the community's top fives?
Yes, let's try and not mock these.
I'm not going to mock them, but I'm going to read them out so quick. All right, because there's a lot.
Don't necessarily fire for them. Give it a little bit of breathing room.
All right, okay. I'm doing Discord first, then I'm going to move to Twitter, then Facebook. Hopefully people haven't put them in twice, because I'm going to probably forget. Okay. What's my tag on Discord? Number 5, Formula 1 2020. Number 4, Last of Us 2. Number 3, Call of Duty Warzone. Number 2, Ghost of Tsushima. And at number 1, Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Good choice.
Nice.
Some good games there. Some good games. Okay. Clarky79. Good old Clarky.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Okay, number 5. Call of Duty Warzone. Number 4.
Yep.
Streets of Rage 4.
Ooh, nice.
Number 3. Doom Eternal.
First time that's been mentioned.
Oh no, I think that was in a lot of lists actually of the bigger outlets. Number 2. Tetris Effect Connected.
He actually learned how to play that finally.
I don't know, he probably hasn't finished it. He's probably stuck on the first level still, but there we go. And his number one game of the year, Cyberpunk.
Oh, what's he? Obviously, I don't know what he's playing it on.
Yeah, I think he's still on the Xbox One.
Yeah, OG. He's on the OG box.
No, he's got an X.
Is he on X? Okay, he's on the X.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's got an
well,
X.
that's passable. I don't know whether to read Dark as Frost because not all of his are 2020 games.
Let's do it.
Okay, number 5, Super Hot. Number 4, Vader Immortal. Not heard of that one. Is that?
I
think it's a VR game.
Is it a VR one?
Yeah,
okay.
Star Wars game, isn't it?
Number 3, Walkabout Mini Golf. I think that. That's VR as well. He's got Quest in brackets. And so, number 2, Division 2, and at number 1, Sea of Thieves. You cheated, mate. And fuck all of those.
Speaking of the VRs, Webby, did you ever pick up Half-Life Alex?
No, it's a bit.
There's a lot of people rave about that.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to go in the bargain bin. It's going to be a while.
I didn't think Division 2 was out this year.
No, it wasn't. That's what I'm saying. He cheated. He cheated.
You wasn't clear enough when you were telling everyone. You should have told it has to be 2020.
Yeah. I'm going to read out Turner's, and he cheated because not all is a 2020 either. Naughty boy. Number 5. Actually, he's not ordered them. I'm going to read them from bottom to top. Number 5, Valorant. That did come out in 2020. It's for those of you console gamers that don't know, it's a first-person shooter, a little bit like Counter-Strike, team-based, 5 on a team.
Oh yes, yeah.
It's actually really, really good. It's really good. Yeah. Okay. Number 4, you cheated because this game came out in like 2010 or something. League of Losers or League of Legends, as you want to say. Number 3, Destiny 2. Number 2, Horizon Zero Dawn. And number 1, Cyberpunk. You cheated, Turner. Cheated.
Well, Horizon came out on the PC last year, technically. So.
Technically, yeah. He still cheated. Rooski Doo did not cheat. He's got a top 5. Number 5, Tetris Effect Connected. Number 4, Spiritfarer. And number 3, Call of Duty Warzone. Number 2, Carrion. And at number 1, this is technically a 2020 game because it only came out on the Xbox in 2020, Yakuza 0. Yes.
He's not good Gears Plop. He's put more hours into that than I have.
Yeah. And I also have to say, all the people choosing Tetris Effect, yeah, I'm beating all their high scores, so...
Well done.
There you go.
I still can't complete that first thing.
First tutorial.
Lols. Rubenstein.
You not put it on easy.
That is on easy.
Fucking hell, peeps.
That's so funny. Right. Our resident Hogarth has a top 5. Number 5, Cyberpunk. Number 4, Mafia Remastered. And
nice.
Number 3, Call of Duty Warzone.
Warzone's in quite a few top 5s.
It is.
It was a really expensive game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was super expensive. Okay, number 2, sorry. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And at number 1 for Mr. Hogarth, well deserved, might I add, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Yes. Nice one, Hogarth. Great
Fair
game.
enough.
Yep. Okay, St. Adams, number 5. Division 2, Warlords of New York expansion. That did come out in 2020.
Technically, I believe, yeah.
Yes. Number 4, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. I'm surprised that wasn't in your top 5, Peebs. I thought you loved that. Number 3, Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah.
And number 2, a new entry for today, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remaster.
Was that last year?
Yeah,
This year.
2020.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
2020.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at number 1, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah, I thought it would be. He's been playing it. I've seen him playing it.
That's doing well on people's list this year, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It's a good
Windows
game.
Wipers Bob. Number 5, Crusader Kings 3. Came out on Game Pass on PC this year. I've not had time to play it, but it's meant to be good. Number 4, Cyberpunk 2077. Number 3, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Number 2, Ghost of Tsushima. And at number 1, a new entry, Desperados 3.
Ah, yes. I think this is on PC, isn't it?
Yes,
It's a
it's
top-down strategy.
Yeah, it's set in the Old West. I've played it
Yeah.
a little bit, probably about 2 or 3 hours of it when it came out, and then didn't pick it up again. It's it's a top-down kind of strategy game. You know, you have a certain amount of moves to move your dude, and a bit like
XCOM,
Gears. Yeah, a bit like Gears Tactics XCOM style game. Yeah, yeah,
Valkyria Chronicles style.
yes. Cool. Okay. Technofish. Number 5, Astrobot Playroom. Awesome.
Ah.
Number
I
4,
would have added that because I really enjoyed that, but it was just knocked
What's-
out.
So that's number
Mate.
9. Number 9 on your list, Paul?
No, that was number 6 actually.
Okay. I am
Okay.
keeping count.
It's
Okay.
really well. It's really
Where
well
was I?
played. Sorry, I've just woken up.
That's all right. Number 4 for Technofish is Phasmophobia. It's a really good game, actually. I should have put that in my honourable mentions, even though I didn't do any. Phasmophobia, for those of you that don't know, is a co-op game on the PC where you go into haunted houses or haunted buildings like schools and prisons or houses or whatever. And it's basically it's quite slow paced, and you go in and you're looking for ghosts, and you're using like all these different devices. It gets really fucking scary. Trust me, I've shit myself a few times playing that last year. Number 3, Demon Souls on the PS5.
Nice.
Play this. I'm looking forward to playing this soon.
Yeah.
Oh, you should.
Mm,
If you're a fan of the Souls game, it's the cleanest they've ever been, really.
It looks stunning. It looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Videos I've seen. Number 2, Warzone. And at number 1, Valorant. Nice. Good list. Iceman, D18. Mate, I don't think any of these games came out in 2020.
Just go for it.
Apart from Call of Duty, actually. Fallout 4, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Call of Duty Warzone, Sea of Thieves, and Division 2. You cheated. Cheated! Okay, Dodo says, number 5, Command & Conquer Remastered Collection. Good choice.
I've heard good things from that. It's supposed to be pretty well done.
Yeah, they've done a good job with that.
After that mobile game that they churned out, which impressed like no one at E3 a couple of years back.
Number 4 for Dodo is Desperados 3. Number 3, Gears Tactics. Number 2, Death Stranding for the PC, because that actually came out in 2020. I actually started playing it today. Fuck me, that looks stunning.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
That Decima engine's something else, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be nice to see what they do next to it.
It's got the typical long-ass cutscenes of the Hideo Kojima games, though.
Yeah.
They're the best parts, though.
At the
To be
beginning,
honest, I love all them.
Yeah, once you get past that bit, it doesn't do like Metal Gear Solid. It does actually open up.
Nice. Yes, I'm really enjoying it so far. Played only a couple of hours, but I'm sucked in, so I'm looking
It's a
forward to playing
kind of mellow game, to be
It's
honest,
cool. I like it because it was.
Have you
because of the
used the
musical
ablutions yet?
choices.
Have you used the ablutions yet?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay.
And his number one is Hades, Dan.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good indeed.
Tiamat Dangerblade says his top 5 would have to be, but then he only gave us three games. So Tiamat's top 3. Hotshot Racing at number 3.
Oh, that's good.
Number 2, Grounded. That was a pile of shit.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't believe you
that
got that in there.
People like different games, mate. Like,
I know, different strokes.
if you
different
like that
folks.
kind of thing, it was unique in the way it
Yes.
approached everything.
Yeah. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the game.
I just used to see loads of videos of people getting mullered by spiders.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the shit that Peebs likes. That says
I
it all.
know, I know.
What?
Sorry, Peebs. I'm just as bad.
None taken.
And his number 1 is Doom Eternal. Okay. AJ Geezer. Number
AJ?
5. Yeah.
Hello, AJ.
Number 5.
Al Jazeera.
Call of Duty Warzone. Number 4. Destiny 2 Beyond Light. Number 3.
That was quite recent, wasn't it? I think. Beyond
it
Light.
was. Yeah. His number 3 is Minecraft Dungeons.
Yeah, that came out this year. My daughter played that and finished it. She platinumed that.
Yeah. Number 2, Cyberpunk. He says he's had 0 issues on the One X. And his number 1 is Hades.
There you go. Getting a lot of love, that.
Yeah,
Get on it.
There you go, Dan. There's some love coming that way. Right, let's go to Twitter. Okay, Colin Long says number 5, Microsoft's Flight Simulator 2020. Number 4, Age of Empires 3. Number 3, Doom Eternal. Number 2, Last of Us 2. And his number 1 is the new Super Lucky's Tale. He says it's the most enjoyable 3D platformer he's played.
Fair enough.
Yeah, man.
Wow. That's
Good
a
game.
left field choice.
Yeah.
It's just the same.
Didn't that come out on the Switch as well, I believe, didn't it?
Yes, I think it did.
It's just the same as the one that came out on the Xbox One, but all they've put is new on the front of it.
Pretty much, I think.
I
I'm not
think
sure,
it is
to be honest.
another game. I think it is
they-
another game.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Japanese Beans. Number 5, Doom Eternal.
Doom's got a lot of love, isn't it?
Number 4, Resident Evil 3.
Yeah,
Number
it was.
3, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Number 2, Neo 2. And number 1,
Nice.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Hey.
Forgot about Neo 2 come out this year.
I think that there's been a lot of games that we've, there's been a lot of games out.
Oh, you can't play everything.
No. Even, even if you're not working, it's impossible to bloody play everything.
Yep.
Okay. Somerset Beast says, number 5, DayZ. I don't think all these games come out in 2020, Scott, but I'm going to read them out anyway.
Yeah, DayZ did. That was on the. Well, it came out on the PlayStation this year.
Okay. Number 4, The Final Station. That
Yeah.
definitely didn't come out in 2020.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
It's like an arcadey type game. It's actually really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Number 3, Ghost of Tsushima. Number 2, The Last of Us 2. And number 1, Pillars of Eternity 2. Great choice. Hey Byron. Number 5, Genshin Impact.
Yeah,
Number
that was interesting.
yeah.
It's free as well, that was.
Yeah, free to play. It is a
another-
good game. Number 4, Minecraft Dungeons. Number 3, Tony Hawk 1 and 2 Remaster. Number 2, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Was that last? No, I can't remember if that was
I've
this
never
year
heard
or
of it,
not.
so I don't know.
It's kind of open world RPG. It
Okay.
was like done really well, but it had sort of like the weird combat from the Xenoverse games that I wasn't a massive fan of.
Fair.
But it was well done and pretty well received when it came out.
And Hey Byron's number 1 is Animal Crossing.
He actually came to my island one evening, I do
Nice.
believe.
Nice. Cram the Man.
Yeah.
Number 5, Phoenix Immortals. That's actually a pretty decent game, actually. It's decent, yeah.
It's in the sale at the moment, or it was in quite a few sales I did see towards the end of the year.
What's a typical Ubisoft thing, isn't it? You give it a couple of weeks and the game gets put in a sale.
Assassin's Creed, I don't think did it?
I don't know. I mean, I played it on Uplay Plus and then cancelled my subscription when I completed it.
I think there was like about a tenner off or something. I think they
Okay.
did a thing around Christmas for that, actually, Assassins. So.
Number 4, Neo 2. Number 3, Cyberpunk. Number 2, Ghost of Tsushima. Number 1, Demon Souls.
Hey.
Go. Dazpos. Number 5, Monster Energy Supercross 3. I'm guessing it's like a bike game. Go. Number 4, Gears Tactics. Number 3, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Number 2, Cyberpunk 2077. And at number 1, Assassin's Creed. There we go. Jay Brones, number 5, Fall Guys. I'm glad Fall Guys is getting some love from someone else. Number 4, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Number 3, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And number 2, Ghost of Tsushima. And at number 1, Last of Us Part 2. We're getting a bit of a theme here. There's kind of a lot of the same games popping up.
Well, yeah, I think if we put them all together, you'd probably find Valhalla's probably number 1.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk's number 2. Warzone's been in quite a lot of people's, as is this Ghost of Tsushima, to be fair.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Maneater's not been mentioned again yet.
I think you're the only one, mate. I'm just checking Twitter. I think that's all the Twitters. Oh, Sly Almond.
Forget Sly Almond.
Good to forget Sly.
Can't forget Sly, or I'll never hear the end of it. Okay. Sly Almond's top 5. Number 5, Animal Crossing. Number 4, Mafia Definitive Edition. His number 3 is Cyberpunk 2077. His number 2 is Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh!
Yeah. And his number 1 is, of course, the only true game of the year, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So he's got actually a pretty decent top 5 there. Jordan P, number 5. Oh, what was that? What was that? Someone's been going bloop, bloop, bloop. I'm guessing I had another subscriber. Dodo, hello, Dodo. Thank you for subscribing. Okay, Jordan P, number 5 is Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2. Okay, so new one on this. I haven't played that. I need to play that. His number 4, Dan will be happy, Streets of Rage 4. Number 3, Ghost of Tsushima. Number 2, The Last of Us Part 2. And his number 1 is Final Fantasy VII Remake. So Final Fantasy VII's getting a little bit of love now. That's what I like to see, people. A little bit of Final Fantasy VII. Okay, on to Facebook. And there's not that many on Facebook, so we're nearly there, guys. Nearly there.
Hallelujah.
Daniel Twin. Daniel Twin. His number 5 is Resident Evil 3 Remake. Number 4, Destiny 2 Beyond Light. Number 3, Last of Us Part 2. Number 2, Demon Souls. And his number 1 is Final Fantasy VII Remake. There we go. Phil Stansfield only has a top 4 because he didn't play 5 games. So his number 4 is Final Fantasy VII Remake. Number 3 is Streets of Rage 4. Number 2 is AC Valhalla. And his number 1 is Call of Duty Warzone. Steve Powell. Number 5 is Dreams. Number 4 is Call of Duty Warzone. Number 3 is Star Wars Squadrons. Number 2 is Tony Hawk's Remastered. And his number 1 is Yakuza Like a Dragon. There we go. A bit of Yakuza love. Paul Johnson only has a top 3. Number 3 is Call of Duty Cold War. Number 2, the Bioshock Collection on the Switch. I'm guessing that come out 2020 on the Switch. And number 1, Animal Crossing.
Yay. So we're not all mental. Just a few of us.
No. Okay, Steffi Business.
Uh-oh.
I know. Number 5, Last of Us 2. Number 4, Doom Eternal. Number 3, The Outer Worlds. Number 2, Cyberpunk. And his number 1 game is Mafia. By the way, those of you people that have put in the Facebook no particular order, I'm putting Final Fantasy VII as your number 1 if it's in your list. Okay, so Timothy Wayne Kaminzind. I can't pronounce that, sorry mate. Anyway, number 5, Doom Eternal. Number 4, Streets of Rage 4. Number 3 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Number 2, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition.
Yeah,
Number 1 is Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah. Matt Hadfield. Number 5, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Number 4, Cyberpunk 2077. Number 3, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Number 2, The Outer Worlds. And his number 1 is The Last of Us 2. That's the first person I've seen with it as number 1. There we go. Dave Ramage. Number 5, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Number 4, Flight Simulator. 3, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Number 2, Ghost of Tsushima. And at number 1, Wasteland 3. I've already done Steve Powell. I can't remember.
No, I don't.
Don't recall, no.
Okay, number 5, Dreams. Number 4, Star Wars Squadrons. Number 3, Call of Duty Warzone. Number 2, Tony Hawk's 1 and 2. And at number 1, Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Nice. I
I'm getting
completely
a sore
forgot
throat.
Dreams came out early this year, actually.
Okay, I've only got a few left. Gavin
few.
Gardner. Gavin Gardner. Number 5, COD Warzone. Number 4, Streets of Rage 4. Number 3, Tony Hawk Remake 1 and 2. Number 2, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Oh, nice to see someone else has got that in their list. And at number 1, The Last of Us Part 2. Alan Cochrane. Number 5, Age of Empires 2 HD Remaster. Number 4, Command & Conquer Remastered. Number 3, Mafia Definitive Edition. Number 2, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And at number 1, Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Yeah, there we go. Nice.
Okay. Ronnie McCatty. Number 5, Spider-Man Miles Morales. At number 4, AC Valhalla. Number 3, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Number 2, Ghost of Tsushima. And his number 1 was The Last of Us 2. Leon Hunter. Number 5, Fall Guys. Yes, I see that in there. Number 4, Immortal Phoenix. Number 3, Tetris Effect. Number 2, FIFA 21. And at number 1, The Last of Us 2. Elliot, read yours, Elliot. And Nigel, read yours. Nicky Wilson is the last one. Mafia Definitive Edition. Number 4, Last of Us 2. At number 3, Ghost of Tsushima. At number 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake. And his number 1 game is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Fair enough. And mentioned again.
Yep. That is everything. Game of the Year show's over,
It
guys.
must have come out quite early in the year, I'm thinking, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, because I remember going to my mate's house and watching him play it. And obviously we went into lockdown in March. So I'm thinking it might have been a February release, like one of the early ones. Isn't the first big game to release this year Hitman 3?
That's out very soon, isn't it?
I think it's out next week or the week after.
Well, because we've got Medium out as well in a couple of weeks.
That's the end of the month.
Yeah.
What's it called? The one I was looking forward to, Outriders, has been pushed back till April now.
Yeah, that's. I never complain when games are pushed back.
No,
No
but they're
way.
apparently doing a playable demo in February, so that'd be cool to check out. To be honest, everyone's still got a ton of big games to swathe through anyway.
Yeah. I mean, my
Like
backlog
Valhalla
is
and
massive.
Cyberpunk being big ones at the end of the year.
Yeah. I'm just looking at my list at the minute. Massive.
Surprised there's no Capcom game. They usually like releasing the game around early December, February time, don't they, Capcom?
Yeah.
Although we have got Monster Hunter Rise coming in March. Have you downloaded the demo yet, Dan?
I have. Yeah, I haven't played it yet, though. Maybe after this I'll have a go. Have you had to go yet?
No, I haven't turned it on to download it, but they did a big sort of like event and launch thing, didn't they, the other day?
I think the demo's only available until the end of this month, so you might want to get on it ASAP.
All right, yeah, I will do. Is it going to be hopefully one of those ones where you can carry over?
Don't know. I'll let you know
when the full game comes out. I think most of them do allow you to do that.
I shall have a look. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good.
Cool, man. Cool. Anything else you guys want to add?
I don't think so.
I'm just thinking of my backlog at the minute. I've got a Steam list. I've got an Xbox Game Pass list. I've got a bloody Uplay list. I've got lists everywhere of games to play. It's nuts. Oh,
such a hard life.
So many games, so little
Pray for
time.
Webby, hashtag.
Yeah. Well, if I get more people subscribing to the Patreon, I can quit my job and then I can game full time. So come on, guys. Go on it. I want to live the dream. I want to be able to live off my Patreons. Got 17 Patrons at the minute. I need some more. Come on. Get in there. Cool. So if you guys haven't got anything to add, I would just like to say it's been an awesome episode. I was looking forward to this for ages. We have lost Stunty. I think he's gone to bed. He didn't even say bye, did he?
No.
He just left.
I'm sure he was around by the end when we were reading out other people's. So.
Oh. I thought he would have said bye.
Bye, Stunty.
Bye, Stunty. Oh, poor Stunty.
It's been 3 hours. 3 hour.
See, 3 hours it's flown by, man.
Oh, apparently he said bye in the chat. Did he? Oh, he did. Oh, that was ages ago. He said bye in the Oh, it doesn't say bye. It doesn't have a time, but it was a while back in the chat. Oh, it wasn't really. Sorry, Stunty, I didn't see. Yeah, that's it. Hogarth, he's gone to the old folks' home. Lights out time. Yep. So anyway, I just want to say, really nice having you guys on, Dan, Peebs, Darren. Always appreciate you guys coming on for your conversation. Always, it's the highlight of my week every single week. Chatting to you guys on here. So
it is now with the lockdowns going on.
Yeah. Fuck all else happening.
Yeah, it's good times, man. It's good times. I love it. Just hope we can get some actual more gaming in if we can find some time. And I would like to try and get the community more involved in some online gaming if we can. I know it's difficult.
Well, we
with
have
different
got Back
schedules
4 Blood
and stuff.
coming out.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Although, while I was looking at that game is pulling the shady shit tactic. So if you buy the expensive versions of the game, you get to play it before everyone else.
I don't give a shit about that. Just buy the cheap version and just wait a couple of extra days. It's fine.
Yeah, I still think that's fucking horrible, though. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I know.
I think.
I know. I hate that too. Cool.
Cool, man.
Shall we end?
If you want to.
Yep.
Cool. So from me, Mark Webb, Gamertag, PS on ID, Steam ID, Webby, 360G.
Resident Chivo or Mr. Peebs.
Sensei Switch.
As always, take one, Cinema Dan.
And old man's done, he's gone to bed with his walking stick. So Stunty's gone because he's an old bastard, but we love you, Stunty, even though you're grumpy. So thank you very much. It's been awesome. As always, don't forget, if you want a show every single week of the year, subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/360gamercast. Big thank you to all of you that are already subscribing to the Patreon. You are 100% appreciated. You can follow me on Twitter at Webby360G, or you can follow at 360gamercast, or look out for Mark's Gaming Den. It's making a return. The YouTube channel is coming back, people. So watch out for those crazy videos that will be coming very soon. I think that's it. Yeah, it's good times. Yes. So from everyone here, it's been awesome. I love doing the Game of the Year show. Gives us time to reflect on the whole year. And I know it's been a crazy year for everybody. 2021 has started off crazy, but hopefully it will all calm down. That's what I'm hoping and praying for anyway. So yeah, stay safe, everybody.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
Buckle up, yeah. So
one of the things I always enjoy about these, is the fact that years always seem to go by pretty quickly. But when you're doing these Game of the Year shows and you find out games come out like last year, you're like, it doesn't feel like it did fly back that fast.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. It's mad. Well, because we're getting old, like the years just go in the blink of an eye. Anyway, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone for listening. Thank you to everyone who stayed strong in the Twitch chat. 3 hours and 23 minutes you've been in there. Shall I give away one more game? I think I will, just before we disappear. I've actually got some more to give away for next week. I forgot to put them in the chat. I just had so many to give away. I just didn't have time to put them all in. So there's one more. So thank you very much. It's been awesome. Love you all, and we will see you next week for the Patreon show. So thank you very much. We will see you next week. Goodbye. There we go. Good times. I enjoyed that.
Another year done. Yeah.
Another year done. Peep sounds tired.
Yeah, I'm getting tired. Well, we didn't go to bed till about 3 o'clock this Saturday morning. Well, Sunday morning, rather.
Oh, wow.
I generally don't stay up past. Don't start past 1 o'clock these days.
My sleep pattern's screwed. I go to bed at 8. I mean, I had a nap this afternoon. Shouldn't have had that, but half that work tomorrow, and then supermarket if I'm lucky. Joy.
Dodging all of the infected.
Yeah. Well, I was going to try and go today, but then I realised it was Sunday and reduced hours. Everyone's concentrated in. It's like, I'm not going there. Screw that.
They had some weird shit happen the other day, didn't they, down your area? Wasn't some woman who run like an Italian pizzeria like killed or something?
What?
I haven't noticed that.
I remember seeing like on the local news that they were talking to. Is it Caroline Lucas, your local MP?
Yeah, no, I know anything about that.
Some woman who run like a Italian place or something was found dead, and like a 17-year-old kid was arrested.
Wow.
Oh, brilliant. Joy. No, nothing about that one.
Probably a burglary that went awry or something.
Oh well, that's joy, isn't it? Happy 2021.
Yeah. Well, everyone was really looking forward to 2021 after the shit 2020, and it's just.
It only took America fucking 5 days or so, and
it's fucking awesome so far. I mean, for bang for your buck, it's second to none. Jesus,
it's been entertaining.
Well, I wouldn't call it that, but interesting. Yeah.
Well, it's always more. I mean, when you're looking at it from an outside perspective, right? When you're not, when your country's not involved in stuff, you can just sit back and look and be like, oh my god.
True, that's true. But obviously, there's some people close to us who are deeply affected by it, and it's not good. You know? Yeah.
Everything will be
they'll
fine.
come through it all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's see how we get on the next couple of days. As I said, it's just As I said, it's going to be interesting. I mean, everything always tends to be all right in the end, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I like to think anyway. But
yeah. Oh,
yeah,
I've got work in the morning. Fuck.
it's all right. You'll be fine, man.
Yeah.
You pretty much roll out of bed and you're in your office, though.
Well, I do. That's literally what I do. I roll out of bed and then walk into the man cave and just sit there in my pajamas, probably till about midday, and then think to myself, "Oh, I should probably have a shower and get dressed now."
It's going to come as such a shock to certain people when you get that call and it's like, right, you've got to start coming back into the office again.
I'm gonna hate it because it's like an hour each way for me. So I start at 7, so I literally roll out of bed at like 10 to 7 in the morning. Whereas when I drive to work, I have to get up at 5:30. Then leave at like.
I reckon a lot of companies are going to carry on letting their staff work from home, though, don't they?
I
Even
hope
when
so.
things get back to normal.
Yeah.
I'd like that. All I do is push a fucking button, pretty much. I just need an automated thing and a little like camera thing on my phone, so I can just keep an eye when people turn up and just be like, "There you go, in you go."
Yeah. So I mean, I've loved working from home. I think it's been great, especially having a new baby as well, being at home the whole
Well, yeah,
time.
it helps with all of that kind of stuff as well because you don't have to look for babysitters and
Oh
all that
no, I
kind
mean
of
we're
stuff.
still
Really.
sending Marcus to childcare
Mm.
because it's better. Kids need to socialise.
Yeah,
So
true that. But I'm on about like sort of like when they're not like obviously parents have to come home from work at a certain time so the kids get in from school and all that lot. So
yeah.
but then again, if you do spend too much time with people, it can sometimes drive you up the wall. So
Yeah, true. I suppose I'm just quite lucky. I'm gonna hate going back to the office and be like, no, kicking and screaming.
I think
I
most
can't
people have said that. I'll be going back to the work kicking and screaming.
In all honesty, I can't really wait to get back to the office.
I
I'll
know
be
you
honest.
can't.
Just
I know you can't.
there's only so much I can do in my flat.
I mean, yeah, I know you're saying because obviously you're on your own, and I know it's a lot different. You get very secluded.
Usually okay. I'm quite good to entertain myself, if being honest.
Yeah.
But it's more just for I don't know. I tend to although I get lots of work done, it's not the same.
No,
you don't
it's
really
not.
have that. You don't really have that collaboration going on.
No, you don't have that back and forth and just going up to people and having a quick chat, at the coffee machine or whatever, and
doing fuck all. And,
yeah,
I know plenty of people that like that.
yeah, it's a different way. I mean, but then like it depends on your sector, right? It depends where you're working and stuff. I mean, working in IT, it can easily be done at home.
True that.
I mean, what we've noticed is more work is getting done because people aren't so bloody tired. It's true.
Maybe there's people just bored shitless and they want something to do.
Well, there's no there's no like loss of morale, I guess, because obviously you can get up later and there's not as like you say, not as much fatigue, and then you haven't got to try and entertain yourself in the office and chatting to people. Sometimes someone rings the phone or whatever, and you just like, I'll give it a few minutes before I answer that. Balls to them.
Yeah, I mean, I had an interesting. I had an interesting year. I mean, I spent the first half of it wondering if I was even going to have a job because I got, I was on the list of being made redundant, but I kept my job, and then they were like, "Oh, you're not doing nights anymore. You're only doing days." I was like, "Oh, fucking awesome!" So
backflip, yeah.
Yeah, so since I've being on just day shifts, I mean, it's still shift work, it's still 12-hour days, but not doing nights, I feel a lot more healthier because, you know, I don't feel jet lagged all the fucking time, you know?
You're not being pushed and pulled in all different
Yeah,
directions.
it's great. It's great. I'll never go back to nights again, you know. If I have to look
See,
for
I
another
don't
job, it
mind
won't be
nights too
nights.
much.
Yeah.
It's sometimes the day shifts that do me, like getting up at 4:30 in the morning,
Yeah,
kills
I
you.
know what you're saying.
You
I mean, it
literally walk
works.
in with the
Yeah,
most horrendous thoughts.
yeah. I mean, it works all right when you're working from home because, as I say, you start at 7, you can roll out of bed, you know, just before 7, and then you're sorted. But yeah, getting up at 5:30 in the morning is a bit of a killer. Obviously, for you, if you're getting up at 4, 4:30, whatever, that's even worse. It's nuts.
Well, it's not necessarily getting up; it's trying to get to sleep
Yes.
at the right time so
Yeah.
you get a
Yeah.
decent amount of sleep. Because
Yeah.
ideally, your body needs at least 6 hours sleep to be
Yeah.
like properly rested.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you're talking about trying to get to sleep by about 10 o'clock, and your body just doesn't want to go to bed that early.
I mean, some nights, I mean, it depends, right? I mean, I find when I've had my 3 or 4 days off or whatever, I can't like get to sleep. But then as my shifts go on, you know, I get to my 3rd or 4th shift, I'm fucked. So like, I sometimes fall asleep putting my boy to bed at 7 o'clock. You know, I lie down
What was
with him
New
and give
Year's
him a
Eve
cuddle
as
and nod
well?
off. New
I
Year's, I
had
was
to work
asleep at 10.
I had to
Yeah,
work New Year's Day, get up
yeah,
at like whatever it was, and
yeah,
it sounded like fucking Bush's shock and awe campaign outside from about fucking 8 o'clock at night.
yeah,
I've never
yeah.
heard so many fireworks on New Year's Eve, and they were
Oh,
going off from like 7, 8 o'clock in the evening,
yeah.
all the way through. And there was some fucker sounded like he was setting off a depth charge every 30 minutes.
I had the same thing here as well. It's like there's people who back onto my back of my garden doing exactly the same thing, and people out the front were firing off fireworks, and it's like,
You
fair
just think
enough.
that's fine, I get it, but some people have to get out for fucking work in the morning.
Yeah.
Not everyone's got the luxury of being off on New Year's Day or whatever. There's quite a lot of people who actually work public holidays.
Yeah, you think of all the public sector workers, you know, they're
Yeah,
all
like
working all.
nurses and health people and that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Easy times. I feel really well. I've never had a job working normal hours in my life.
I've had a
Good though.
couple.
They're good. Get on
Yeah,
it.
but then I think about that and I think 2 days off isn't a lot.
It
Like
is.
It's not, but you do less hours.
Yeah, you
Like
do
I
less
do
hours in
12
the
hours. When
day.
I do proper
Yeah,
shifts, I do
yeah,
12 hours. It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
like your 8 hour.
yeah. I
Fucking
mean, 8
12.
hours. If I did an 8-hour day, I feel like I'm working part time.
That's it. You get some people who have places to turn up. Go, I don't mind the old 9 to 5, the old work in the week, and it's like, you, what time do you turn up? 7:30. I have to get up way earlier than that, and I don't leave until 12 hours later. You're here for 8 hours, mate. So
Yeah,
don't give me
yeah,
that shit.
yeah. It used to really piss me off. Like, in my previous office, it was 7 till 7. And you know, so we're up early, we're getting in, and then you see like other people on, like, you know, all the rest of the IT people on flexi time. So sometimes they'll stroll in at like 10 o'clock in the morning, all fresh and happy, and then they'll fuck off at 4 or 5, and I'll be sitting there like thinking, you bastard.
I've been sat at work, watch people come home, and then in the same time I'm there, they've come back for the next shift,
That's nuts. That's
and you're like,
fucking yeah.
just like I have enough time to go home, literally jump in the shower, have something to eat, maybe entertain myself for an hour and a half, 2 hours, back into bed,
Yeah, and
repeat,
then do it all
repeat,
again. Yeah,
repeat.
yeah. It's like you're working in one of those Chinese sweatshops.
Well, no, slightly better than that, I'm
Right,
guessing, but
yeah, yeah, much comfier bed.
I don't know. Mine's not at the moment. Fucking thing. I bought a new bed this year, and it's just as shit as the old one, to be honest.
It's all about the mattress, mate.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's the
Yeah.
mattress. I replaced the mattress, and the new mattress is just as bad.
So I bought a Temper mattress, 2013, I think it was, and it's still going strong. But I'm at that point now where I'm like, do I want to replace it? And I've been looking at those Emma mattresses because they got quite good reviews. I'm
I
not
think you're
sure.
supposed to replace your mattress every 3 or 4 years, aren't you?
No, these ones have got a guarantee. Like the Temple ones have got a guarantee for like 10 years plus.
Nice. So is
Yeah.
it like medium or a
It's
hard?
hard. It's a hard one because I bought it.
I don't like soft too much.
No, I bought it and because I was having a dodgy back. My back was a bit fucked at the time. So
Old age, mate.
no, I was in a car crash, wasn't I? And I fucked my back.
Oh,
So
right.
you had to have physio and all sorts. So I bought this this Temper and it sorted me right out. Yeah. Yeah, so it's all good.
But obviously, I need to sort of really go to a showroom so I can sit on the beds, on the mattresses and stuff, and feel what they're actually like. Because you don't really get an idea when you order them.
No,
They
that's
sort of
it.
turn up and you're like, not really what I was after, but fuck's sake.
Yeah, but then
That'll
like on
do
the
for
like a
another
lot of these
year.
companies, like I know with the Emma ones, you can return it within like 60 days or something if you don't
Yeah,
like
my
it.
mattress is weird. It come in like a weird. Have you ever had the ones that turn up and
Yeah, they're vacuum
like a
packed, aren't
vacuum
they?
sealed and that, and it's just weird.
Yeah, and then you take it and then you put it on your bed and it says, "Oh, you got to leave it for like 8 hours for it to fully like
Oh, you're
go."
supposed to leave
Yeah,
it for something like 48 hours
yeah,
properly, I think,
something.
for it to.
Yeah, so like it goes back to normal size. Yeah, something crazy.
But
That's
yeah.
all.
Anyway, I'm
All.
gonna check
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's
Nearly
Late.
midnight. It's
definitely time for
fuck me,
bed.
10 to midnight. Right, I'm gonna
10
go
to
to bed
midnight.
too.
Bloody hell, man.
Peeps just
Yeah.
woke up.
Yeah, Pete's
Yeah.
like nodding. He's thinking, "Oh my god, I've had like 5 beers. I'm ready to nod."
I've had a few JDs and
Oh
Coke.
no, you're on no alcohol until your birthday, aren't you? Or have you
Who, me?
cheated? Yeah,
Who said that?
I'm sure you said you're not doing any
Yeah,
alcohol
I
until
did
your
actually,
birthday.
but
Yeah.
we
Was that
ended up having
after
some
last night's
night.
bender?
Yeah, we ended up having a drink last night.
Alcoholic.
We think we're going to do dry February instead.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Good luck with that one. Lol.
Yeah.
Have to see what goes on in February. Whether these vaccines and all that lot start coming through properly.
Right,
Do.
dudes, I'm
So,
going to chip off. Thank you very much for coming on again, and I'll speak to you
Okay.
during the week. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
See you later. Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Set it round,